Good to see you, everyone. My name is Robbie Howell. Thank you so much for taking the time to join. It's another Enclave mission, but this one's a bit unconventional. We are joined by a team of fellow TTRPG designers who also have their own game out on Kickstarter right the hell now. They are kind enough to have taken the time to come out here and give Enclave a bit of a whirl. And I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to hear a bit about them and about their own work before we dive into their first ever Enclave experience. Take it away, Maddie.
Hello, everybody. Great to be here. Robbie, thanks for having us. Enclave's awesome. My name's Matt Piney, and I'm head of business and marketing over at DIMM City RPG. We do have live Kickstarter right now, and Robbie and I have been chatting. He was cool enough to reach out, and we have a lot of shared interest in our games, I think, and approaches, and that we want to make games more approachable for creativity. Simplifying the gameplay is something that DIMM City RPG prides ourselves on, while also leaving room for as much complexity as you want. We're a tabletop role-playing game, and our brand is Creature Punk, which is cyberpunk with a twist. It's pretty awesome, and we're very excited about it. Just creators trying to follow our dream. And so our game goes off of a D20 only. So it makes it a little more simplified. But again, one of the big approaches for us was making sure that we could make it approachable for beginners and the veterans alike. So just a little bit about our game. We have a great team here. All four of us have been working together on this for 3+ years. And so anyways, we're really excited to play Enclave, though. We appreciate the opportunity, and just got to be patient with a guy like me. I'm going to do my best.
Hell yeah, man. It's awesome to have you all. Next up, we can go Todd if you want. You good? There you go.
All right, got my mic on there. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. All right, hi, Todd Ward here. I'm a St. Louis, Missouri native. Currently living in Japan. I stay in Western Japan and have grown up doing all sorts of different role-playing games, primarily Dungeons and Dragons, pretty much all iterations of that. Savage Worlds, many iterations of Star Wars. So I've got a lot of experience with different systems and a variety of different ways of doing things. The one thing that's great about our game is that we use one die. Mm-hmm. And so you can use that one die with a table. Like 1 is of course a critical failure, 2 through 5 is a failure, 6 through 10 is a hard choice, so you do what you want to do, but something else happens. And then 11 through 19 is a success, which you do perfectly, and then a 20 of course is a critical success. So that's the basic table, and there's other ways to work around if you need something specific, if you need a particular like target role as a DM or whatever. But that's the crux of our system.
Awesome. We in Enclave love mixed successes. Pardon, carry on.
So, and that's something that you don't really get, in coming up in Dungeons and Dragons. The current Fantasy Flight game version of Star Wars has some really, really interesting stuff that kind of does the same thing in a more complex way. Mm-hmm. So I really dig the simplicity of this particular system. Creating a simplistic cyberpunk-esque game that anybody can pick up and run, and like the campaign setting that we've had, based on Scott's work is coming together like clockwork. I really have enjoyed seeing the evolution of the 5 different districts that we've put together. And we're slowly creating lore, slowly creating history, and we look forward to the community helping us to kind of solidify more and more what DIMM City really is.
Hell yeah, man. That's fantastic. Next.
Yo, hey, it's my name's Ian Lackey. I've been hanging out with these 3 knuckleheads for most of my life. Todd kind of alluded to it that, a lot of this started with Scott's artwork. Back in the day playing D&D with Todd running most of the missions or all of them. Scott would be doing some art, and Matt, I didn't hang out with as much, but been a good friend for quite a while now. So I'm just excited to be able to work on some stuff with these guys and get to play a game tonight. We don't play enough. We too much work on our own stuff lately, but this should be fun.
Absolutely. While we're trying to figure out what the heck is up with Scotty, we can at least get through a chunk of character creation stuff. because character creation Enclave is quite quick, and it seems like you guys have done a chunk of it already yourselves. And so to that end, have you all already made characters, or have you like gotten part way in or not all the way in, or not started? Because we can do from the beginning.
I've gotten all the technical stuff done. It's the fluff part of it that I don't know. So like Enclave, you said that there's no cap on technology level. It's just whatever's clever. Like, how exactly does that work here?
So the idea is that in Enclave, we have no predefined world building. When you are creating your character's background and appearance, you're effectively defining a new pocket of this infinite world that is canon and that your character comes from. What you have to do, though, is you have to kind of match the character's aesthetic to their mechanical capacities. So if you say you're playing a gunslinger, right, and you want to make him like a space cowboy, totally fine, but your lasers are not hitting harder than bullets. And so within that limitation, you can reskin, reflavor, do whatever you want with your class, and there's an enormous amount of flexibility.
So it's the same thing on racial traits as well. So
Pretty much
you could have a frogman, but they can't jump, swim.
I mean, the swim I'd probably give you, to be honest. But what you'd have to do is you'd have to think about the pros and cons. So, for example, let's say you play a frogman, and let's say you build your frogman with like a big bonus to reflex or something like that, because reflex is a stat that has to do with agility. And so if, and you say, okay, because I have this big reflex, my frogman is one who's going to be good at jumping. But it's not because you're a frogman that you're good at jumping, it's because you have high reflex. The other way you can do it, though, is you can do these kind of organic trade-offs, for want of a better term. Let's say you're playing a fox person or something, and you're like, can I have way better hearing proportionally than a human would? Yeah, that sounds reasonable, but what's the trade-off? Let's say you are like, all right, but I'm really sensitive to loud noises. That's a good trade-off. And so if there is something that just stats alone can't explain and is pretty straightforward, you can accommodate it with these like organic trade-offs. Does that make sense?
So that's nothing that's queued into the stats, right? That's just something that's like RP.
If it's something that has mechanical implications but cannot be explained by stats alone, you can kind of carve out these exceptions based on things like your character's aesthetics or their species or something like that. But if it's something that could be explained by stats, you should just build your character that way. Like if you're playing an orc, you should be having a high might stat. It's not like being an orc gives you the high might stat.
Gotcha. So you're playing your stats to your race or your species or whatever.
Yep, exactly right. And again, the only exception is if it's something that can't be totally explained. But that said, aesthetics matter a lot in Enclave, like kind of an enormous amount. It's just hard to quantify it. So if you're being a frogman and you end up in a desert and you're like, okay, I definitely should be playing the downside of my frogman being dried, baked to the hell in the sun. And if you're doing a good job of embracing that, we could totally let you get away with another frogman style benefit because you're embracing this downside. So maybe you're like, I know this isn't listed, but can I get like a sticky tongue just for this one thing? Totally. If you're like embracing this big downside already, I would love to see you do that. So that's kind of how we go about it for something like Enclave. It's a great question, especially
very fade-ish.
Yeah, especially coming from like what you guys do with your game. Talking about like non-human species was something I very much anticipated.
I kept it simple. I didn't want to have to cause any problems, so I'm going with the human.
You're good. Do you guys have any other character creation questions? How far along are you? Do you need help with any piece of it?
So I have I've created my character. Oh, also Scott was calling me on the phone. He's just gonna sit out because I always asked him to go through some things. Yeah, it's unfortunate, he's pretty. He doesn't want to. He wants to play.
He's doing that on purpose.
No,
we'll try to get him in another time.
Technical difficulties are, that's the way it happens. Discord has them. That's not my first time seeing that. So my character's created, but I don't have like my stats and stuff. I'm playing a wanderer. Also, like I didn't fill in like stat mod area. I don't know what
that's
that
fine.
word.
Yep. Here,
And
I
then,
can.
and so I have like my abilities, my gear, my appearance, background, and my personality. 3 personality traits.
Awesome. So let's go
But
through that. It'll be nice and easy.
okay, cool.
Stats can look kind of intimidating because we have 12 of them, but it's quite straightforward. So, Wanderer, that's awesome. So your personality would be the luck trait, vitality trait, and what was your third?
Vigor.
Awesome. Yeah. So that would be some combination of carefree, indulgent, and enthusiastic, roughly speaking. Correct?
It's meh.
Nice. In that case, what you would do for stats is you would get 2 pluses to your luck stat, because the Wanderer specializes a lot with luck. You'd get 1 plus to your vitality stat, because the Wanderer's secondary specialty is vitality. You get 1 plus to your vigor, because that's the stat of the trait you picked. And then you get 2 more pluses that can go into any of the 12 stats. One that you have, one that you don't have. You just cannot bring any stat above 3 for now. And I can talk you through any of the stats if you want them.
Okay. I'm just looking at the different, what I would want to do there.
While you're considering, Ian, do you have any questions about character creation stuff, or are you happy with your character?
I'm still kind of figuring out the same stuff. Basically just got the 3 personality traits and was working on stats. So,
Awesome.
Playing an illusionist, I have sensory, arcane, and reflex.
Yep, that's great. And so you'd get double plus to sensory, single plus to arcane, single plus to reflex, and then 2 more pluses that can go anywhere. And lastly, Todd, what class are you playing?
Playing a Thane. I'll show you what I got here.
Thane, sick, awesome. And what do you got for your stat spread?
Give me 1 second. I'll lay it out here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I've got Christopher Groves. I got the 12 stats, 2 in resilience, 1 in spirit, 1 in vigor, 1 in skill. I got my personality and intelligence. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then gear, heavy panoply, mantle, bastard sword, banner icon.
Yep.
Got my Thane abilities there, and got my appearance, background, and gear and trinkets.
Excellent. Is that nice? So you have like a post-apocalyptic style thing?
Yeah, kind of, sort of, yeah.
Fantastic.
He's a hazmat dude.
Sick. That's perfect. Okay, in that case,
cool.
With that character knocked out, that is absolutely perfect. Matt, for your Wanderer, what you thinking on stats?
So I guess, yeah, I guess I'll go with, so I have 1 vitality, 1 sensory, 2 in skill, or 2 in luck, I'm sorry, you said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, so I chose, and then I got 1 skill, 1 vigor. So I guess I added to skill and sensory.
Yep, perfect. Great build. Next up would be your character's starting gear, which you said, I think you mentioned you already done. So you have the default gear, which you have all 3 of, and you get to pick 1 piece of elective gear.
Fiddle.
Woo!
Not a fiddle. Not a fiddle.
The mic peaked. That's great. And then for abilities, you have all listed Wanderer abilities. And the last thing besides that is your character's name, appearance, and background. And as we just went over, appearance and background actually matter quite a lot in Enclave. Todd had a rather defined one, which is great. You can absolutely do that. But if you want, you can start with as little as like a sentence of each and kind of build out your character as you go. Just if you define something on the fly, it has to make sense, not be too convenient in the moment, and you have to commit to it from then on.
Okay. So for appearance, do you want me to go over that now, or?
Yeah, please.
Oh, okay. Puddles is my character. He's a Wanderer. Puddles is a tall, lanky, 40-year-old guy with a mischievous grin and twinkling eye. He wears a colorful, patched-together outfit with a wide-brimmed hat adorned with feathers. He carries his fiddle strapped to his back and his walking stick in hand. His background, Puddles has always been a free spirit, traveling from place to place, spreading joy and laughter where he goes. He He joined the Enclave after a series of misadventures led him to discover his latent supernatural abilities. He uses his powers to help others and have fun while doing it.
Oh, what a
that too
guy.
It's
We love
smart.
Puddles. That's awesome. And Ian, what do you have for your stat build, or do you need another moment?
Let's see. I've added skill and vigor.
Perfect. That is all that you need for that. Next is your gear. So your class has 2 gear rosters. You get all 3 listed pieces of default gear, and you get to choose 1 piece of elective gear.
Yep, I chose the cape.
Awesome. Billowing cape works great. Next, for abilities, you have all 3 listed illusionist abilities. You don't need to pick any given one. And your last thing is your name, appearance, and background. Do you need a moment for that, or do you already have something in mind?
I have a start.
Yeah.
So, Jeffrey Silverfield, failed entertainment magician, attempted to have a career doing illusionary shows, but could never really get it off the ground. So he went looking for adventure.
Perfect. That sounds great. And that is all you need to do for character creation. The next step is we're going to create a mission for you. And what this involves is I am going to design this mission based on your character's capacities. So, Wanderer, Illusionist, Thane, it's going to be a mission that is suited to those 3 classes. This mission is going to be in a setting that none of your characters will likely have ever been before. It will be completely new to them. And what the way this will go is the Enclave will teleport them directly to the location of their job. And then they will try to do their job as best as they can. And then at the end of the mission, your character's Enclave badge will kind of magically resonate. It will ping, we call it. Tap your badge, teleport off the mission. If your character is incapacitated or indisposed, an ally can ping them out. And the only way you do not make it out is if you are dead. Even if you are on death's door, if you can get back to the Enclave, your character will be returned to full at the end of the session. All of your gear will be repaired. Everything will be replaced, redone. You'll be brought back good as new. Unless you die. So you can go right up to the edge and you'll be fine. To generate the mission, we use what are called focus words. This is any word or short phrase. Each of you get to contribute 1. And I'm going to use these as inspiration to create a session for you spontaneously. To that end, if each of you could give me 1 word or short phrase, it can be literally anything. It does not have to have anything to do with your character. Of note, though, if you are looking for like a more serious mission and you give me a goofy focus word, you are probably getting a goofy mission. So tone matters, but the sky is the limit.
Which direction are we going, guys? Are we going goofball? Or...
What do you think, dude?
That seems to be the
Seriously,
line.
who are we?
Yeah.
I'll go.
Spoiled milk.
Spoiled milk. Got you.
What? Dude, are you serious? Get out of my head. Are you? Oh, I don't trust you at all. I was just about to say spilled milk or spoiled milk. What? That is crazy.
Do you want to give me?
Crazy.
Do you want to give me spilled milk, and we'll do both? We can do both.
Sure.
We know each other very well.
That's weird.
Okay, and then Todd, what do you got for me?
Let me think here. You seem to be at your wit's end, but your wit's pretty short.
Oh God, I need a moment to write that one down. And your wit's end, but your wit's pretty short. That's awesome. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop out just for a quick moment to design this sucker. In the meantime, not only are you, of course, welcome to do what you need to do, take a pause, talk amongst yourselves, strategize, whatever you like, but this is totally optional, by the way. Tim, Rich, if you would like to unmute and chat, you're more than welcome to, especially if these guys have questions about the game. Tim and Rich are both very veteran players. They know a lot about Enclave. I will not be more than 5 minutes. Okay?
Take your time there.
I'll be right back.
Thank you.
All right. He's going to the Enclave machine.
I know.
Hello. Please ask any questions you might have.
Advice. Just advice.
Yeah, give us some advice.
Yeah, definitely, probably the best bit of advice I can give. Definitely, this is all your first time, right?
This is our first time. Yes, we are all virgins.
All right,
Yes.
definitely stick together.
Okay.
Oh, of course, don't split the party.
Communication is probably also key.
Lean into your character's story. Lean into the story Robbie is putting. You have the chance to throw in your own details to your various stats of luck and intelligence. Feel free to mold things a bit as you're going along.
Awesome. So communication, stay together, lean into the character story and the mission story. I'm newer too. These guys are more veterans than me, so this is gonna be. I'm gonna just crack that on, I guess.
And Robbie will guide you along. Don't worry about it.
My question is, how strict is Robbie about player talk versus PC talk?
There's usually a bit of both as we're going along, but try and stay in character as much as you can. But obviously, if you have to come out of it to ask clarifying questions or something like that, that's perfect.
So basically, if you're talking in your character's voice or whatever, then he takes it as that. If you're talking in your normal persona voice, he takes it as that.
Generally speaking, yeah.
Is that the clear line?
For the most part.
All right, good.
Yep.
Okay.
How long have you been playing Enclave?
I've been playing since February.
Nice.
And my first game is in April, but I've really just leaped in the last 3 months or so.
What's your favorite aspects to Enclave?
If you're a forever GM, this game is a dream. Because you can take all that improv and story skill that you've honed and pour it into playing.
All right, I got something.
I like the.
Thank you guys so much for holding down the fort while I was popped out. In that case, any final questions before we begin? I have a mission statement ready.
All right, good to go.
Sick.
Yo.
Okay, so the Enclave is going to be sending each of your characters the following message. We're going to handle this out of character for ease. After I read your mission statement, you are able to ask questions about it. These do not have to be in character, again, for ease, but everything we go over will be known in character. So, you are being sent to go after a warlord who has recently committed a deep and profound sacrilege. He stole a sacred cow, beloved of a god, and not only stole it and drank its enchanted milk, but killed it so no one else could have it. He now, with his entourage, is making his way off of the sacred glacier, gleeful about the great power imbibed through drinking this potent concoction, and even has one last precious vase left, or jar left, of the sacred milk, which he has been bribing some of his close soldiers to him to be loyal with. Oh, I'll give you a taste of it, even though he's taken most of it from himself. Here's the deal, however. The milk is not doing what he thinks it will. It is said to be the source of this local god's great power and legendary strength and great immortality. But it turns out committing sacrilege has some serious problems that come with it. Your goal, however, is not to kill the warlord, not even necessarily to hurt him, though the mission may well come to that. Your goal is to enter his camp and smash that last jug of sacred milk so no one else can have it. Especially not him. You fail the mission if he drinks it. You don't have to kill him. You don't have to bring him to justice. The god believes that karma will do this. All you have to do is get rid of this last jug of sacred milk. Again, the warlord has an entourage of like loyal followers. Let's be in it. They're just in it to try to get immortality and super strength. But he's also enlisted a small posse of like local shepherds and mountain guides to help him get up this forbidding place and also carry their luggage and all that garbage. Not to mention feed them. And so they have a fair few reluctant followers with them who want nothing to do with this sacrilege business and are mostly they came here in the first place because they were being paid, and now they've been threatened to be killed if they abandon him. So that's one benefit you have. The other thing that you have is that even though you guys will look strange and outlandish in this area, this glacier is a site of great pilgrimage. There are many people who come from all around to come here to worship. And as such, some strange-looking foreigners will be much less frowned upon here than they may elsewhere. This warlord has no fear of random outsiders coming in. Again, he's drank of the sacred milk, and as such, he believes himself to be functionally invincible. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. However, the Enclave is not saying you can't try if the opportunity presents itself. Though they will warn that he is definitely stronger than any man that is going to be in this area, and certainly any one of you, but you never know. They're not saying it's impossible. Only other thing of note is that his entourage, even the ones that have been bribed with small drinks, though they will be threats, they are certainly not insurmountable obstacles. Again, this is at the foot of this great sacred glacier. It'll be cold, but it's not going to be actively snowing or anything at the moment. And the ground will be icy and slick in places, though there is a firm path that their camp is kind of off to the side of. They have many pack animals with them. And even though the warlord in his like retinue is pretty small, it's like under 10 people at this point, it's like 8-ish. Their group of porters and baggage carriers is like double that number. Questions?
What is the
How special?
jar?
Go ahead.
Oh, and what is the jar vase made out of? Is it like clay or is it titanium? What are we dealing with?
Excellent question. It is made of ceramic, but it is not a ceramic that will just smash if you just like do a little drop. It will take a little bit of elbow grease to break this sucker, though turning it upside down will do the trick nicely as well.
That meaning dumping it out.
Yeah. Other questions?
Game question. So do we have a number of times we can use our abilities?
No. Your abilities can be used any number of times, but each one has a cost and a cooldown. The cost is like the magical toll it takes on you, kind of like the magical version of stamina, but unlike in real life where you exert stamina gradually over time in most cases, magic is expended in big chunks, and therefore your character might go from like, I'm not doing too bad, to like, oh my god, I'm really failing it very, very quickly, and the symptoms are very different. Cooldown is just a time you wait between using your abilities. So an ability with a low cooldown you can use very frequently, an ability with a mid cooldown maybe only a handful of times, a high cooldown once or twice per mission, probably max. Other questions?
I think we're good to go.
Excellent. In that case, normally at this point, what we would do is something called assembly, where your characters are brought together at Enclave HQ to briefly get a chance to strategize. In interest of time, we are going to be skipping that today. And as such, even though your characters will have, you can assume that they've been given like a briefing on who they're working with. So you won't be like, who the fuck are you when you like teleport in. They will not have met each other before, even though they will be given, again, a rough summary. But everything we have just gone over, your characters know in full. and each of them are brought from their homes all across Manifold, the infinite world, to Enclave HQ, a vast building so huge it's practically infinite itself, at Manifold's center. The place is grand and glorious, somewhere between like a neo-futurism and like a Gothic cathedral in terms of its design, a vast compound, only decorated in shades of gray. And each of you are led through this place by faceless attendants until you're each brought to a small, dark room with rounded corners at its floor and ceiling, and a gleaming pad in the middle of the floor. And you hear a disembodied voice whisper in your ear, "Agent, please take your place atop the telepad." And as you do so, you feel your body begin to dissociate, a tingling starting in your toes, working its way up your legs, leaving them asleep in its wake. When the tingling passes your midsection, your stomach churns violently, and then you no longer feel it. When it passes your chest, your heart flutters, and then you no longer feel it beat. And when the tingling passes your eyes, your vision explodes into ribbons of color. There's a buzzing in your ears, the world falls away, and then there is nothing. But as quickly as the sensation comes, it leaves, and you find yourselves facing brilliant sunlight, the sort of sunlight that can only mean snow. And while the air is frigid, there is not a high wind, and as such, it's not the sort of cold that bites through your bones. You are on a small sun-dappled stone path, with the mighty glacier reaching up above you like crashing waves frozen in time. But just off to the side of the path, not even a stone's throw up ahead, you can see, kind of nestled in a little dell of the glacier, the camp set up. It has a rough palisade around it, mostly to keep the animals in. Has a few tents set up, some colored banners that all bear the same emblazoned image on it. And there is a single solitary guard, kind of loitering around the entrance, looking half asleep, and certainly not attentive. You see also the signs of recent passage. Travelers having not only left like food items and things for offerings at little shrines along the road at like regular intervals, little gentle bowls bearing small gifts, but also the telltale signs of passage. Discarded odds and ends, for example, a little torn piece of fabric there, a bone there, like nutshells off to the side, that sort of thing. It's clearly a reasonably commonly traveled area. And there's very little vegetation to hide any of the surroundings. Immediate actions as you enter will begin with a very brief reminder of what your character looks like, and the first things they will do, we will begin with Puddles.
Puddles is a tall, lengthy 40-year-old guy with a mischievous grin and a twinkling eye. He wears colorful patched-together outfit with a wide-brimmed hat and feathers adorned. He carries his fiddle strapped to his back and his walking stick. He loves to laugh, and he's very trustworthy unless he's crossed.
Perfect. And first actions from Puddles upon entering this strange, cold, bright place.
Puddles looks around. He wants to know more about his companions, though, because he doesn't remember their names. He looks at the camp that's a stone throw away and feels like they should go over there and investigate a little bit further.
Will he be voicing this aloud to his companions, or be moseying his way over himself?
Companions, I think we should go over and investigate a little bit and see what's going on with that tent, and maybe they have some food. Who knows?
First action, a brief reminder of physical description, of course, and first actions next from Jeffrey, including potential responses to Puddles.
Jeffrey is a aging, overweight male human, mostly bald, wearing fine clothing, including his wide-brimmed wizard hat and his very fashionable cape. He's not very talkative, generally has an air of superiority, thinks he's better than everyone else, but also is a complete failure in his life. So he balances. Okay. Response. Yeah, seems pretty obvious.
And what will Jeffrey himself do? Will if Puddles starts moving, will he accompany him, or is he going to be? Does he have his own plans?
Yes, he will levitate with his cape and slowly trail behind.
And lastly, Christopher, brief reminder of appearance and first actions, including responses to Puddles.
All right. So Christopher Groves is dressed up in a suit of armor that doubles as a hazmat suit, and he's very very skinny. All of his muscle is put into moving the suit around, but he's stronger than he looks. Wears circular glasses, has short black hair, kind of very very unkempt beard, but it's kept short. And the first thing that he does whenever he comes in is he looks around at all the litter and says, "Yeah, some people leave footprints, but others leave snack wrappers." I guess, hey, yeah, that's a good idea. I guess I'll follow you guys. Wow, it's pretty here though. The enclave. It's like 50 Shades of Nope. It's not gloomy. It's defensively neutral, but here, yeah, wow. And I'll just stumble after them.
Puddles, responses to this, if any.
Okay. Well, let's move along then.
It sounds like Puddles is heading the group, and as such, as you start to move about, Puddles, actions that you'd like to take, both en route towards the nearby camp or as you are approaching it.
I think
Let's pick
I
up
just
litter.
want to investigate and just see what's going on around here.
What sort of things are you looking for? Like, give me examples of the sort of details that would jump to his eye.
Puddles will be looking at the trash. Puddles is
Good idea.
investigating.
Oh, yeah.
He's looking to see if there's anything that can tell us more about the people that have been here.
Totally. There's a couple things that he would note. First of all is that the little offerings that are left in the small bowls that regularly line the path are neat and beautiful and typically are things that are pleasant. Foodstuffs and nice flowers and little cones of incense and the like. But also, all of these gifts are sealed in a thin layer of ice. Perhaps natural from the rain, but there's something a little too perfect about them. The food seems like it keeps much longer than it should. That said, it contrasts sharply with the litter, of which there is a substantial amount, especially around the camp. This is, again, the sort of thing that you might expect to be outside of like some settlement. Everything from discarded bits of cloth and tool stuffs to, of course, animal leavings and food leavings, and of course the occasional little bit of refuse. It's not pleasant, especially given that it seems as though the camp itself is making zero attempt to keep any sort of decorum. You even would see like one of their pack animals, like a kind of goat-looking thing, is off to the side, like just a little ways from the camp, having been gutted, eaten, and then the remains just kind of discarded haphazardly nearby. Other details from Puddles that he would be trying to pick out, or other actions he would like to take as a follow-up, or is he going to march straight up to the entrance to this camp?
I think that we should grab some of these iced snacks. I feel like that we would need them later. All of the trash around here makes me feel like that's from someone else. I just feel like we might be able to use some of these. And then I think we should walk right up and see if we can get some information and find a little bit more out about this. What do you guys think?
I really don't think you should touch the sacred. That's for somebody else. That's for something holy. You might bring about something unholy, eating their food. That's
Fair
just
enough.
my bit on the whole thing.
I'm eating trash.
I mean, geez, people here just treat this place like it's a mall food court. We might want to pick it up as we go.
I'm also not a servant.
You have quite the attitude, my friend. Okay, let's walk up and see if we can get some more information and talk about.
In that case, jumping back over to Jeffrey, while Puddles and Christopher and yourself are having this brief conversation en route, other actions that Jeffrey would like to take before the camp is reached, including specific details he would be looking for. I'm going to ask the same to Christopher as well.
Looking for what appear to be guards, people posted in specific locations or people on patrol. Looking for the fanciest tent in the encampment.
Yep.
Potentially trying to target where the leader may be staying, assuming that that's where the vase would be kept.
I believe
so. That's kind of my focus.
You have a double plus to sensory, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yep. In that case, you'd be able to pick out quite a lot of detail. The camp is not particularly well sealed or anything, and again, they only have the loosest of palisades surrounding it. It seems as though the tents in the camp seem to be divided into 3 groups. One is at the center. There is absolutely a grand leaderly tent. Stands out like a sore thumb. Then it's surrounded by a collection of maybe 3 nice but not incredible ones. And then the remainder are just absolute dreck. Like the sort of thing where they're practically having to drape things over their animals to have any attempt at shelter. In terms of guard, you only have the one right out front, though you do hear voices deeper in the camp, not all of them friendly. The one that is out front has maybe a flask in his hand. It's not super clear to tell. Maybe a drinking horn, something of that nature. Again, he's kind of draped lazily off to the side. And you can see, though, that around the kind of entrance place, there are there's more refuse, especially animal bones. And quite a few of the animal bones seemed cracked or split in kind of an unnaturally clean way, for want of a better term. Any follow-ups from Jeffrey here before I jump over to Christopher?
No, I don't think so.
Sure. In that case, Christopher, notes from you before the camp is reached. Things you're looking for, things you want to do.
So I'm looking at the garbage as we're walking along and trying to see if there's any like continuity with the stuff that's being dropped that we don't notice outside of, it's just your normal traveler trash. And like what is really revered here? Is it the garbage? Is it the offerings?
Yep.
Is there some reason? Is there some connection between the two?
And the main thing that you would notice, there's 2 things you would notice. One is that as you get closer to this camp, the trash is way denser. It seems that they are the source of quite a chunk of it. But the other thing that you would notice is that the little offering bowls are left completely alone. Except for the one that is closest to their camp. That one not only has its little iced offering gone, but it's also been split down the middle and it's kind of fallen in 2 halves by the roadside. In terms of other elements of traveler trash, you would notice that, especially where you poured it in quite far away, it was not only a lot less messy, but also a lot less obvious. It was mostly things, again, like discarded nutshells or small food items. But as you get closer, that's when a lot more of the actual like garbage comes in. And refuse and other less pleasant things, as though they were a little fallout zone from which just nastiness radiated. At a guess, given that Christopher, I believe you mentioned this, Christopher is from a kind of a post-apocalyptic / modernish setting. Is that correct? Mm. Yeah, so he would be. That's correct. He would have a good eye for trash, but more notably. Given that he's probably been around settlements that have been rather contained for a chunk of time, it seems as though this camp hasn't moved in a while. At a guess, days, maybe even a week or 2.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm thoroughly perturbed.
Totally.
Ugh, litter bugs. Nature's way of saying some evolutional steps were optional.
And as Christopher is chuckling to himself, Puddles, you're the one at the head as you guys approach the camp, and you can see the guard with the little drinking horn is eyeing you in a surly fashion as you're approaching. The drinking horn is capped, and he's kind of twirling it around a finger. And as you get closer, he stoops a little bit and picks up one of the smooth pebbles that makes up the path and kind of plays with it in his hand, just tossing it up and down a little bit as you get closer. Actions Puddles would like to take, given that he's at the head.
Puddles would like to find out more information, and he is going to consider this guard a familiar face and talk to him.
What's his name?
His name is Winchellersten.
I'll take it.
Chellerston.
And how do you know each other?
Winchellersten and myself, I forgot my voice. We met back on a voyage at one point when we were battling some. I don't know.
It must have been quite a night.
It was quite a night. So Winchesterson and myself, we met when we were both ran into each other in a big battle of just a reckless battle that just got out of control. I didn't even know what was going on, and I helped him to his feet. I remember his eyes. They stick with me.
Now, as you look into those same eyes, you notice something. Either he's drunk, he's exhausted, or something else is going on, because his gaze is unfocused and cloudy. Not like the bright, crisp soldier that you remember. And he doesn't seem, at least initially, to recognize you. He says, "What do you want, pilgrim?"
Winchesterson, it's me, Puddles. Don't you remember? I gave you the bread. I helped you. Remember in the big battle off the side of the road many yonders ago?
He rubs his eyes with the rock in his hand. And as he does so, he says, "Battle, the bread." And he looks at you again and kind of blinks. And he notices the fiddle and he says, "Yeah, you're that guy. That guy. You were kind to me. Yeah." He blinks again and he says, Are you a thief, Puddles? Is that what you are?" He has a surly note in his voice that feels completely unwarranted.
Would a thief have given you bread? Of course I'm not a thief. I saved your life.
And he blinks and he says, That's true, and let it not be said that Winchellersten is an oathbreaker." And he would say, "You've come far?"
Very far, very far.
You hungry?
I think we would love some food. Not sure about Jeffrey, but yes, we would love some food.
No, bread for bread, then. Bread for bread. And he says, "But you gotta be..." He kind of pushes his finger up against it, vibrating the sound. He says in kind of a conspiratorial whisper, his voice absolutely fucking reeks of alcohol, "The boss doesn't like visitors." Okay. Right. And he conspiratorially kind of like flicks the finger behind him. He pays almost no attention to the other two. And as he kind of lumbers in, it would be... Puddles wouldn't actually notice this, but Jeffrey and Christopher would. The stone that he was holding, as he was like talking, he had been like working it with his hand, and it has crumbled to dust just from him working it with with his hand. And he kind of just discards it behind him as he goes trotting off. Or maybe slipping off would be a better word for it, because he does not move with the greatest of grace. As Puddles would be led into the camp, it's not a thing of beauty. It's honestly kind of gross. And you can see that kind of forming a perimeter around it are the local mountaineers and their livestock, who follow Puddles' like passage with suspicious and like heavy-lidded eyes. But Winchellersten doesn't seem particularly perturbed by them. And instead, he says, jovially but trying to keep his voice down, We've made it, Puddles, my boy. we've gotten something great here. We've sought our fortunes and we've found them. We found them here. This is where the fortune was, Puddles. It's here." He stomps the ground as though he dug it up. I don't know if Puddles would respond to that, but if not, what other things would he be looking for or doing as he's being led through the camp?
Puddles would put his arm around him as they walk, and he'd say, "Yes, my man, we did make it. Let's go sit down and have a chat.
Yes,
Get some of that grub you talked about."
Absolutely. And he like snaps his fingers at one of the surrounding mountaineers. Says, "You, get me that what was that damn thing called? The one, you know the one." And the man, in a low voice after a long pause, kind of dripping with sarcasm, says, "Mutton." "Yeah, that's the one. That one. I want that." Again, very gone is the bright, sharp soldier Puddles saved all those years ago. The lumbering oaf next to him sits down, still with an arm around Puddles' shoulder, heavy by one of the small fires lit. But before we go further with this, let's jump back over to Jeffrey and Christopher. You guys are at the mouth of the camp, and Puddles has led away the one guard. It's not like the camp is dead. There's still activity, but besides the mountaineers, who are looking curiously and furtively in your directions, none of the warlord's entourage seems to at least be actively covering the entrance. Actions from Christopher and then Jeffrey.
Pointing at the bones. Every pile tells a story, and this one says, "Don't pet the locals." I'm going to start checking out the bones and seeing exactly what kind of animal this is.
Absolutely. And checking out the bones by the entrance. Would Christopher have experience with like rooting through litter piles like this? Like what sort of post-apocalypse is he from?
Well, he is a cleanup guy, and he cleans up all sorts of different hazardous waste, biohazards, and stuff like that.
Totally.
So I think that he would have some idea as to what it is.
Yeah, and in his land, do they have things like cows and goats and like more real-world sort of animals? Yeah, in that case, I'll give you that he would know. He detects 3 distinct types of animal here. One, small bones, light bones, rodent, probably rabbit, at a guess. There's only a couple of those. Then there's a preponderance of goat. Or at least some that looks kind of like a goat. Probably the pack animals that you see all wrapped all around. There's quite a few of those. But lastly, you find one massive rib. At a guess, mammal. At a guess, quadrupedal. Could be even a rib of that great sacred cow, in which case it would have been a massive animal. And for the bone of something sacred to be tossed to the ground is, probably par for the course, considering what you've seen from the rest of these fellows, but still might take Christopher aback if he has any sort of that inclination within him.
I'm gonna signal to Jeffrey. Yeah, some people collect stamps, but others collect sacred cow rib bones. What do you think about this?
Jeffrey, actions from you, both in response to Christopher and otherwise, with the entryway to the camp now free.
Puddles might be in more danger than he realizes, would be my response to that.
Yeah.
Christopher, have you noticed any any uniforms? Do you notice that, can you tell one group from the other?
Can I?
And looking about, it's Yep.
I've got a tick in intelligence.
Mm-hmm. And looking about, there's one thing that is absolutely loud and clear. The mountaineers are very easily distinguishable from the warlord's entourage, both in terms of their uniforms, which are not wildly distinguishable, but they don't carry armor or weapons beyond a wooden stick or a sling. And more notably, they're kind of being forced to the perimeters of the camp, near the palisade with their animals. it's either that they don't wish to approach the center with the bigger tents, or that they have been forbidden to. But in terms of the warlord's entourage, again, the long travel up in the mountains seems to have homogenized their outfits to some degree with that of the mountaineers. But even so, you can see the weapons, you can see the armor, and also you can see the size. They are big fellows, whereas the mountaineers tend to be small and compact in size.
All right.
To keep an eye on Puddles.
Let's go find them.
It's easily done. The camp is reasonably open, and you can see the direction he went in. Is Jeffrey still floating?
No, I would have stopped as we approached the guards.
As you guys are, in that case, are you just going to kind of beeline after Puddles? If so, in what way are you making your way through the camp? Is this just trying to get into sight of him as quick as possible, or are you going to be trying to go as sneaky as possible, or somewhere in between?
Perimeter to the side closest if we're able to see him from outside. But I feel, and Christopher, I'd get your thoughts, but I don't think we should walk straight through this camp. I think.
Well, let's go ahead and be a little bit sneaky about it. As sneaky as a guy in a bright yellow suit can be. Sorry about that.
So
I can always strip down to my bloomers.
As an illusionist, Jeffrey does also have an ability called Veneer that can help with that too.
Christopher, would you mind if I did a little magic show for you?
If it's anything like the last one you did, hell yes.
All right. So, do I have enough? Do I have the ability to change both of us at the same time, or is that too much?
I'd say as long as you're changing yourselves to something that's kind of similar, I'm totally cool with that.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I think I'll put a veneer over both of us to be some of the mountaineering folks, so we kind of blend in with the crowd on the outside perimeter.
Sure. And all abilities in Enclave have a paired action. Matt demonstrated this earlier by initiating the familiar face. I asked him, how'd you meet, that sort of thing. For something like Veneer, the illusionist has to gesture as though painting the target, taking longer the larger it is. Given that this is two human-sized things, it's not particularly long. But just describe to me what it would look like for Jeffrey to initiate this spell.
Wayne's World.
So, being the smooth character that I am, I would be as subtle as I possibly could and do sleight of hand, try to make it look like I'm just naturally moving and the action of talking or something to that effect, some natural movement. But obviously I'm terrible at it. So while I'm overcompensating, so it's a very exaggerated brush of my hair with my hand.
And then it's a beat
What's
late.
this? What's this behind your ear? What's this behind your ear? You're a mountaineer.
Bingo.
And along those lines, remind me, did you get a plus in skill, or do you have baseline skill?
I have +1 in skill.
Nice. And so in that case, it sounds as though Jeffrey would actually be quite good at this, but he's shooting way too high. Because opposed to skill, he could be good at it if he just stayed in his lane. But yeah, so wildly overcompensating. And I'm guessing that the show would, at least initially, be completely lame and underwhelming until Christopher realized that both he and Jeffrey actually looked not identical, but pretty damn close to the Mountaineers.
I try to hide my own amazement that it worked.
Yeah. I meant to do that.
Yeah. Cool. You ready? Let's go.
Wow, I even feel like I'm wearing some long underwear. This is amazing.
And as the two of you trot off through the camp, two things you note. First of all, as you pass by like a little campfire with some of the warlord's entourage, they completely ignore you. They don't give a shit. The mountaineers, on the other hand, immediately know something's up. They're like just staring at you as you pass. Maybe not completely fooled, maybe not like completely unfooled, but instantly recognizing that there's something different. Maybe they don't recognize your faces. Maybe it's your gait. Maybe it's your posture. You have no idea. But the warlord's retinue, it's flawless on them. And you quickly come into sight of Puddles. Puddles is sat at a fire with his back to you, with the big meaty arm of Winchellerston draped over his shoulder. And each of them has like a little steak, and Winchellerston is like smoking the mutton over the fire. And as he does so, Winchellerston kind of drunkenly slurs to Puddles the story of how they apprehended the cow. Up into the glacier, and then we cut down through the ice and down and down and down and down. We lost about a dozen men doing that. It took about 2 months, and it was there. It was there, the cow frozen in ice, and we took it, and we hauled it out, and it protested, and we had to haul it down, and then the boss man took a bit of the milk, and he picked that thing up. Picked it right up. He like picks up like a nearby like sleeping roll to demonstrate, and says, and then we brought it all the way down, drank deep. I got a bit too, he says, looking proud of himself. He says, and then we gutted it. He slaps you on the shoulder, and he says, I can't believe we did it, and no wrath of God. No terrible repercussions, but we are great and powerful men who are now going to live forever. And ain't that a wonderful way to be? He says, breathing drunkenly all over your face, getting way too close.
You're quite the man, Winchesterton. I tell you, you are great and you are powerful. I totally believe it.
Oh, yes. Do you want to see how powerful?
Maybe?
Oh, yeah. Take a look at this. And he picks up a sheep bone, like a vertebra. You know, those things are pretty freaking thick. And with one hand, he has to work at it. You see the crack appear, and then he splits the vertebra in two. Almost like, imagine like that's a good analogy. Breaking a stroopwafel in two with one hand, you know what I mean? But with good deal more effort put into it. And he says, not bad, eh? And he sucks out the marrow from it.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And we'll live forever. Forever and ever. And that is even better.
You must love your boss, man. He must be great.
No! He says way too loudly, and then, no, quieter. He's a bad sort. Bad sort. Very bad sort. He sniffs and says, great warrior. I followed him into battle the first time about 5 years ago, and then after 2 successful campaigns, he said, Winchellerston, I have the greatest battle of them all, and you're one of the few I trust, and we brought 30 men up to this awful place. And we thought we were all going to die. But he did it. He found it. He found it. And now look at us. We are great. We are immortal. And even the cold. The cold isn't a problem at all. He takes off the great like fur-lined chest plate and just lets his nips breathe for a moment. And just enjoys the cold and kind of waves it above his head before clanking it back on in rather an ineffectual way. And he says, and isn't that a great thing? But here, have some mutton. He like sticks one of the roasted mutton spits like into your face.
Thank you. Yes, it's great. So, where is this boss of yours?
Oh, he's over. He points to the big tent. He says, he's over there. And he's probably talking with that absolute snake, Hathi. He says, That man is a vermin. He's a viper. He's a poltroon at that. And I don't say that about everyone. This is the point at which Jeffrey and Christopher are fully within earshot. I mean, Jeffrey has heard a chunk of this because of his spirit set and the fact that when Chellerstone is not being particularly quiet. But as you guys, and again, their backs are to you, and so, and given Winchelston's state, it seems rather easy to get closer if you wish. Would you be doing so? Where would Jeffrey and Christopher be positioning themselves before we finish up with Puddles?
Yeah, I would be trying to look like I was attending to something, like clearing dishes or something, and so like inching my way as close to the table as I could, but trying to stay out of sight, trying to be sneaky, but probably again being like way too much of a showman about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll make work with him too. I'll make work with him.
Yep, absolutely. And as you guys kind of quietly shuffle up onto the peripheries, when Chellerston ignores you completely as you are going about seemingly mundane tasks of tidying up, and he says to Puddles, "You be careful of that man, Hathi. The boss is not a good sort, right? But it is thanks to him that I'm immortal." Not Hathi, though. Not him. No. Follow us from Puddles.
You're a good man, Winchesterson, a good man. And then Puddles would kind of look around to see where his buddies are, his companions.
And you would see there are, right next to you, there are two of the mountaineer folk. The only thing that kind of gives away the ghost is the sounds that they make. They're even when they step, their feet make different sounds than what the clothing of the mountaineers would make. Obviously, a hazmat suit will crinkle and crease, whereas their furs would not do so. And similarly, you can see that Jeffrey would smell quite different and distinct. And so you would have a clue as to who it is, but it's a good disguise, and would probably take Puddles like a couple blinks and a few moments of consideration to put it together.
I also wear too
I'll
much
just wave at you.
Yeah, I had kind of a feeling. And the wave would give it away all the way. What would Puddles do from here?
Puddles is going to walk over. Because Winchesterson is just kind of, he's drunk and he's kind of just falling asleep a little bit.
What's his name again, Piney?
Winchesterson.
It's a man of many names.
Yes, he is. I've got everything in chat if you want to check it out.
And he would just kind of slide away to walk over, as he did recognize after a couple blinks, he recognized Jeffrey and Christopher.
And as the three of as the three of you reconvene, what would Puddles say? Presumably pretty quietly.
Guys, no.
That got me.
Christopher, Jeffrey, I got a little bit of information for us, I think. And he would tell them about the boss and where the boss is at, and a little bit about the cow that was killed and the milk that was taken.
Absolutely. Follow-ups or responses from Jeffrey or Christopher?
Well, at least we know we're in the right place. Not many places claim of killing a sacred cow.
A reason to get out of here quick.
What are we gonna do?
Sorry, how much did you tell us about the whole Huffy drama? How much did we hear of that conversation?
By the time that the man Hathi was brought up, you guys were quite close. So even if Puddles did mention it, it would be something that Jeffrey and Christopher would also have heard.
Okay. All right, guys. So my plan is we cause some drama between these two guys, and we get them to start creating a ruckus, and hopefully start a riot. And then as the riot breaks out, we go in and grab this jar and get in bounds. What do you think?
I mean, that might be easier said than done. How do you plan on doing that?
Well, he obviously doesn't like this guy, and he's drunk. So I say we just hype him up and start telling him like this dude's been doing terrible stuff to his sister. I don't know. You guys got nothing?
I mean, I could always get up some of my my countrymen if they're around using a banner. Then we'd have a small army on our hands. Maybe 5 or 6 guys. You know, that's one way we could do things.
The more the merrier.
This is correct.
Or we could talk up and win over Winchester Sinton. And I feel like we need more information about Hothy. I don't do we see Hothy? I mean,
No.
do we even know who he is? We need to find out more and then plan, I think. But I do like where you're going with this.
Well, go ahead and milk Wenchellerston as best you can. We'll continue to do the barkeep stuff here. I kind of like
We
cleaning
must
up.
stay together, though.
Be on your tail.
Would Puddles go back to Wenchellerston, who is currently chewing up another joint of mutton?
Give me some of that joint.
Yes.
Bogart.
Yes. Puddles is going to go back over there because he's afraid that Winchester Sinton is going to forget him.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
As you sit back down, Wenchellerston picks up the conversation as though you hadn't left, and he says, "From here, my man, the world is open to us. We can do anything. We're immortal. I don't even know where to start. What am I going to do when I go back home?"
You can do anything you want, Winchesterton. You're so powerful, and you're immortal.
Mm-hmm.
Who's this Hothy guy, anyways? I mean, I've heard he talks like you could beat him.
"Yeah, well, of course I can," he says, leaning in. And he says, "Of course I can. Especially because this stupid idiot didn't drink any of the milk. Thinks he's better than us. Thinks he's smart. Thinks he's better than us. And the boss trusts him. What's with that? Idiot."
Why is that?
I don't
Why would
know.
he trust him?
I
Did he
mean,
go way back.
They've worked together for a while. I think they've worked together for a while, but I just don't understand why the boss put so much stock in him. He just thinks he's so much better than everyone else. He just thinks he's so much better. And you know what? I would like nothing better than to paint the mountain red with his head. That was about that. And I could, because I drank the milk, and I'm stronger than him now. As he is saying this, however, with Jeffrey and Christopher again running barkeep, they would actually also see something else. Another 2 of the warlord's retinue are coming over from another of the kind of outlying tents from another of the fireplaces, and kind of like lumbering over towards the fireplace where Wenchellerston and Puddles are sitting. They're not here yet, and are not coming at great speed, nor do they look particularly concerned, but they are en route. Actions that Christopher and Jeffrey would like to take before we jump back to Puddles.
Elbow Christopher and nod in their direction and be like, "I think we need to cut them off." And I'll just start
Maybe
heading
not a
to
bad
like
idea.
intercept them.
Yeah, pardon, Christopher, what were you saying?
That's not a bad idea. I'll go ahead and can we intercept them while still keeping an eye on our boy?
Oh, easily, yeah. He'd be over your shoulder,
cool.
but you'd be a little ways away.
All right.
as you're moving over towards them, they're kind of talking to each other. They seem drunk, but maybe not as drunk as when Chellerston is. But that said, they do still have kind of I would say especially Jeffrey had picked this out, they have kind of an unfocused expression in their eyes. As one of them kind of gestures and says, "Out of the way, rabbits! Out of the way!"
Barrel of beer over in that tent. I was just coming to let you know. Fresh. I was told to spread the word.
Actual beer.
Yeah, fresh. Just brought it up the side of the mountain.
None of this fermented goat's milk garbage you've been giving us.
No, this is much like you Flatlanders like.
He says, "Yeah, that's pretty good." And as he looks over to the other one's like, "Wait a second. We can't forget. We gotta talk to Chellerston. But there's beer, man."
Yeah, the beer's got enough alcohol you can light it on fire.
And you see that they both kind of like look over and kind of like focus hazily on Christopher and says, You got an accent or something, Rabbit?"
I mean, I actually have a speech impediment. I've had it since I was a little kid.
A speech pebip? What is there?
A speech impediment. There's something wrong with my mouth, and I don't talk good.
Why do you have a pebble in your mouth, stupid? Spit it out.
It's pretty big. I've been trying for a long time.
Oh, okay. I can help, he says with a nasty smile and cracks his knuckles.
No, that's okay.
All right. What's with these rabbits, man? He looks to the other one and says, "I don't know. Getting too cocky, I think. Let's get the beer." "Which tent?"
Big purple tent.
He says, "Right.
It's behind those."
Yeah, okay. Let's go. Tell Winchelston we need to talk to him. Have him meet us there, all right?"
We will tell him.
You better. And they go lumbering off across the camp in the other direction. With that threat potentially headed off, follow-ups from Jeffrey and Christopher. Are there any other actions they'd like to take, or do they want to get back into listening range with Puddles?
What do you say we do here, boss?
I think we head back, inch our way back that direction.
And
All right.
in the meantime, Puddles, actions that you would like to take while you are talking with Winchellerston.
No.
In that case,
guy for as much information as you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that case, he would ramble for a little while, talking about all the cool things he wants to do now that he is immortal and super strong. And he talks for a little bit about all the people that he will impress, and all of the girlfriends who will want to get back with him, and all of the family members who will regret disowning him, and all these other things. But as he's rambling, other things that Puddles would like to do, either talking with him, looking around, doing other actions, or similar.
Winchellerston, why don't you drink more of the milk? It makes you so powerful.
I want to. I'm trying, but the boss keeps it under a close watch. Can't get at it. You only get a little sippy at a time. A little sip, little.
Oh, he keeps it inside like a forbidden cage, or has tigers behind it or something?
No tigers. That would be. That's a good idea, though. No, there's worse. Worse than tigers. Is Hathi looking after it? That snake.
So why hasn't Hathi drank the milk? I don't understand. Do you believe him?
I don't
He doesn't
know.
seem, from what you're telling me, he doesn't seem trustworthy.
No, he's not trustworthy at all. But the boss thinks he is, and I bet you anything he actually is drinking it, and he's just pretending to not have drunk it. And the boss trusts him. Stupid.
I bet the boss would love you more and put you even on a higher pedestal if he knew if Hathi was drinking the milk.
He leans in. You think so?
Maybe.
Well, And he would lean his head in even closer and kind of like bump his forehead against yours and like say right into your mouth. How do you think I should go tell him?
Yes.
Say no
I do.
more. I know there's no way he hasn't drank it. No man alive wouldn't drink it. And he's a man and he's alive and so he drank it. And he jumps to his feet, or rather staggers to his feet. He says, good thinking, Puddles. I'm going to get me some more of that. And he goes tromping over towards the big tent. It's at this point that he passes directly by Jeffrey and Christopher, who are getting right back into position, ignoring them completely thanks to their disguise. Follow-ups from the three of you as when Chellerston marches off and Puddles is left.
Where's he going?
So how long?
I may have made a mistake.
He's making a beeline for the. He's making a beeline for the tent, right?
Yes.
The warlord's tent.
Yep.
All right. How long does it take to get some people with the banner skill that I've got?
The banner actually summons them in pretty much instantly. It's like they're teleported to your side.
All right. So I'm gonna do that and have those guards back him up.
And as you would describe me through the scene of summoning them, and what does your banner look like, for example?
My banner is a large yellow triangle with a radiation seal on it.
Nice, that's awesome.
And Puddles, as I do this, can you play your violin or toot your horn or whatever?
Oh, he
Where'd your
seems
camera
to
go,
it seems to need a moment to bop
Oh
out.
no!
But,
Oh no!
well,
Oh,
we'll hear from him in a moment. In that regard, though, what would be the general like equipment of the folk you summon in? Like, obviously, they have to be of comparable tech level and stuff to you, but what sort of stuff would they be outfitted with?
So this isn't gathering people from the surrounding area.
No, this is your homeland.
Actually teleporting my people in.
Yep.
All right. Gosh. All right. So I would say probably jet black armor.
Mm-hmm.
With the radiation symbol in black on a yellow background in the middle of their armor. Just like me, they would carry hand and a half swords.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And what is
kind of
I'm sorry, what is their relation to you? Would they? I'm guessing they wouldn't call you captain per se. Like, what would be their way of referring to you?
They probably wouldn't like me very much because I'm a waste cleanup guy.
And as you would summon them in, one of them would say, "The fuck is this place supposed to be, Junkrat? What are we supposed to be doing here?"
I was here cleaning up, and we got a little bit of trouble. Back that guy up because he's gonna need you.
Shit. Are you starting fights that we have to finish?
Kinda, just like the last time.
Motherfucker. And come on, as they go kind of trooping off, when Chellerston doesn't notice them, at least not yet, they don't stop him, so I guess he has no reason to. But he's so focused on getting to the tent, and a few of the other, of course, the Mountaineers are like, what the fuck? But the more notably, like the other warlord entourage members who are kind of still around their fires and wandering around the camp, we kind of look over, towards the black armored men flanking Wen Chellerston. I will say that given that Christopher has a plus to spirit, I believe. Do you have one or two?
Spirit, I've got 2, I do believe. Let me check that out real quick. For spirit, I've got 1.
Nice. And so because of
2
that,
resilience.
You would see that as the black-clad soldiers follow in Chellerston, the warlord's entourage that looks at them, we would see kind of a shadow of fear across some of their drunken faces. But as
you better be afraid.
as Christopher is summoning in his group, Jeffrey, actions you would like to take, and then Puddles.
Going to this viewpoint and take over. Well, I guess question: does it take over with the target's vision, or undetectable, right?
It is undetectable. You get to see what they are seeing, and you also get to choose things in their vision to like blank out of their vision. But the more prominent or obvious or focused they are on it, this is much harder to do. And if you make it like too obvious, you'll get kicked out.
Definitely
Yeah.
black out the armored guys.
That would be a challenge.
So start with who are you targeting with viewpoint? Are you trying to hit Winchellerston or are you trying to hit someone else?
Yeah, Winchellerston. And how long can I like hijack that? Is it until he notices, or
You can actually hold viewpoint for a little while, and you can even like open your eyes up and do other stuff and then check back in. But its duration is far from long, right? So you can do a good amount of stuff within the window that the viewpoint is active for.
Gotcha. Okay. Maybe I'll wait until he's closer to the tent then.
Absolutely. And like, so maybe as he's like pulling back the flap, you want to hit him with the viewpoint?
Yeah. Yep.
While he is approaching, where do you want to be positioning yourself? And are there any other actions you want to be taking?
Yeah, I'm gonna slowly like slip off to the side and again try to like just blend into the locals. Try to be as unnoticeable as possible, but of course I'll screw that up and stand like out in the middle of the walkway or something.
And I will note, blending in with the locals is tough, given that the Mountaineers all just like scoot away from you. They want nothing to do with you. However, as you're kind of like, trying to act casual and everyone's like scooting away from you on either side. Follow-ups from Puddles as well, as Jeffrey is going incognito and Christopher is summoning in his soldiers who are trooping off after Winchellerston. What does Puddles want to do?
Join the coup.
He wants to go join his companions. He wants to join Jeffrey and Christopher and let them know that he may have acted hastily in this move.
What does he want to say?
So he's walk over and probably try.
It's okay. We all acted hastily.
So he'll walk over and go, guys, I think I may have pulled the trigger a little too soon on this. We might have some things happening here fairly quickly. Winchesterson is headed to fight Hothy.
Yeah, we kind of picked up on that, actually. He's got some backup now. Hey, should we go and check out the action? Probably a good idea. I don't know.
Do we know
probably
that,
smash that milk.
Go ahead.
We can smash that milk jug in the chaos.
Trying to get eyes on it now.
And pardon, Puddles, what were you saying as well?
Does Puddles know that Jeffrey is going to be using his ability?
You don't know the exact specifics, but when Jeffrey says, I'm trying to get eyes on it now, I could totally see Puddles inferring like, oh, he's up to something magical in nature. So you can always ask for clarification.
Jeffrey, what is it that you can make happen here? What can you find out for us? Because Winchesterson is going to give us a lot of information, I think, when he starts to go after Hothy.
The magician never reveals his secrets.
Unacceptable.
That's awesome. And
I'm trying to. Oh, sorry. I will say that sarcastically, and then, all right, for real. I'm trying to get some eyes inside of that tent to see if I can get, spot a chest or get eyes on where that jar may be. I'm thinking maybe we can sneak in the back while there's a commotion going on and just handle business.
And
sounds dreamy.
Pardon, can you say that again? I didn't hear that.
Sounds dreamy. Sounds like a plan.
And Christopher, while these two are talking, are you going to be like moving off after your troops? Are you going to stay with your companions for now, or you do want to like do something else, head off during the action? What?
I'm leading from the back. I'll stay with my boys.
Yep, absolutely. And as you do so, this would be the point that when Chellerston would actually reach the tent flap, he would go to knock on it, and of course, being a tent flap, it wouldn't do all that much, and so he compromises by like picking up like a nearby like metal wash basin and banging it on his head, making like a dong dong dong, and then he says, "Hade, you snake! Come out this moment! I know you're a traitor!" And at this point, Jeffrey, do you want to hit your viewpoint?
Perfect timing.
As Jeffrey is doing so, all that Puddles would see is Jeffrey like close his eyes, maybe portentously. And what would Puddles want to do from here? He's obviously a little ways away from the tent. Does he want to go over and join where Christopher is at the back of the troop? Does he want to try to circle around, do something else? What does he want?
Oh, I'm not at the back of the troop. I'm with my boys.
Yeah.
Puddles wants to game plan what we're going to do when this distraction takes place, what our plan is, how we're going to get in, and then Puddles is going to want to use an ability, I think.
Totally. So he's only next to Jeffrey at the moment. Christopher is a little ways away. So what would be some of the things that he would like quickly say to Jeffrey? Jeffrey, his eyes are closed, but he can hear.
Jeffrey, tell me everything that you see. What are you seeing right now? Please tell me.
We'll have it relayed through as I describe it. As when Chellerston like forcibly pulls the tent flap aside, the inside is actually quite beautiful. Given that it's, an impromptu mountainside tent, and it's been arranged very slapdash, but it does have a lot of nice things in it, even if they're not really set up in the nicest manner. You can see that there is the great form of the warlord, muscular and pot-bellied, who is kind of laid a little ways in the back, clearly having just been talking. And you can see another man is standing up at the fore. He is muscular and fit, but not nearly as huge and hulkish as the other people you've seen about here. He has an array of knives across his frame and is also carrying a long, thin rapier-type weapon, which he draws. His eyes, unlike every single other person you've seen here of the warlord's troop, are sharp and keen and questing. And as soon as he looks over, even though Jeffrey can't hear the words, he can lip read him effortlessly. Though Christopher can hear the words he says, which is, "Traitor, you say, Chellerston. Is this what it has come to? If you really wish to die and waste your immortality, come upon me. Do so. But if you value your wretched skin, I'd recommend you step away." And as Jeffrey is, I presume, relaying this, is there any other quick actions Jeffrey would like to take, still viewpointing when Chellerston?
I'll say I think it's time to move, and I'll start walking or jogging, I guess, towards the back of the tent.
Yep.
Like the opposite side.
The back of the tent hugs up against the foot of the glacier that the camp is in the shadow of. But of course, being a tent, it's not like it has like a flush wall to the ground. And this would also involve you kind of navigating between some of the pack animals and some of the mountaineers. But again, they give you a wide berth, not wanting anything to do with you. Similarly, Puddles, actions as Jeffrey is conveying this to you and then says it's time to get into action, starts moving off.
I'm with you, my boy. And Puddles follows right behind Jeffrey. And Christopher! And calls Christopher so that we can all stay together.
Now, at this point, Christopher is a little ways away with the back of his troop, who are all kind of formed up behind Wen Chellerston. They have their blades at the ready, but are holding for now, not quite knowing exactly what the cue is to act. Christopher, actions you would like to take alongside your summoned soldiers. This is just before you would hear Puddles call. You're a ways away from your team at the moment, though still within hailing distance.
just a question real quick.
Yeah.
So I have to command them. It's important for me to be with them, or
You
I
can
can
give
be with
them.
my group
You can
already.
issue them commands for sure. And depending on the nature of those commands, and of course their respect dynamic with you, that's going to change it to some degree. But you do have a mantle, the Thane's mantle item, which does imbue your words with a deal more leadership.
All right, so I'm going to speak to Wen Chellerston.
Yeah.
And say, you, sir, don't need to be a punk. You can push this because we're behind your back. If you need help, we gotcha.
He turns around, and rather than seeing Christopher, who's a little behind him, he sees all the black armored soldiers. He looks side to side. He says, "Yeah, you see." And he says, "The knights of the cosmos are at my back." And he says,
Damn straight.
Do you not fear this? Hate? You viper? Do you not fear the power of the eternities which I willed? Hathe looks completely unimpressed, but the warlord behind him goes like, And you even hear the warlord say, Better stand down, Hathe. This might be a match for you. And Hathe would say politely over his shoulder, Thank you very much, sir. I think I have this under control. And he would, with a kind of a stretched, strained smile and cold eyes, begin walking slowly towards Winchellerston with his rapier kind of down and in front of him. He says, Well then, come, Winchellerston. Bring your knights of the cosmos and face me. Though I would presume that you are not such a feeble specimen of a man as to need to dogpile one with the force of 7. And Winchellerston says, No! I'll take you myself. You will wait. I'm going to take him, and then you can kick him when he's dead. All right? Follow-ups from Christopher. This is when Puddles would call to him. Does he have any other things he would want to say or do at the mouth of the tent with Winchellerston and his soldiers, or does he want to try to loop over to his allies or do something else entirely?
How does 2 arms work?
So with 2 arms, what you want to do is make some sort of like a quick speech or declaration, and it allows you to conjure actual physical weapons and armor for those who like hear your speech and like respond in kind. So if people are like, oh, whatever, it's not gonna do anything. But if they're like, yeah, awesome, then they can be affected by it. It can hit 1 person, it can hit 12 people, but the more people it hits, or rather fewer people hits, like you can get more out of it, and it's like less expensive.
All right, so I'm going with that for Winchellerston only.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, Winchellerston, you're good enough. You're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you. And you're going to use that immortality to win forever.
Yeah, you hear that? And Hathe says, I would strongly protest the assessment of smart here. But besides that, what do you want to conjure for him? And you can, again, go pretty good with this, and it can be tied into your background, too.
So basically, it's going to be a full suit of black armor, just like my boys with the full helm and all that stuff. They're a hand and a half sword, but make it gold.
Oh, cool!
Bling,
yeah,
diamonds. Just make it beautiful. And that's the armor boner I'm going to try and give him.
And as you do so, Winchellerston raises the sword in trembling hands and says, I wield the power of the stars! And charges into the tent, like taking down the crossbar at the front and like bringing down part of it as he goes rushing inside. You immediately hear battle unfolding, but Christopher can't see what's happening given that the tent's been partially taken down. His soldiers immediately being like, shit, like start to like rush in and try to like get the tent flap open to see what's going on. But also the other Retinue members from around the tent, around the camp rather, have obviously heard this and have all come plunking over to see what's going on. Some of them are looking kind of into it. Some of them are looking kind of, you can see out of an avaricious gleam in some of their eyes as they start bearing down on the tent themselves. And Christopher is in the way. What does he want to do from here?
I got any other tricks up my sleeves?
Do you need a moment to think?
I think I'm good. I'll just help out my men that I've assembled here and get them into fighting form. I'll try and lead what they're doing to right the tent up what could I do to cause more chaos?
Oh, you have a couple of fun options there. One of them is not only do you have the Thane ability Gara thinks, which is quite an attention grabber, but also you got a +2 intelligence. There's open fires around here and tents.
Okay,
Not to mention
so
alcohol.
basically the vibe that I'm getting is that most of the people in this camp don't like the warlord.
Absolutely, and given you have that plus to spirit, you can see it in their eyes. It's maybe not like a hatred, more like a vulturous opportunism.
All right, cool. So I'll use my Garethix and I'll broadcast to everybody. Anybody who's ever hated the warlord, now is the time to take your revenge. We're here to take him down. Join me.
And with Join Me, many of the closest ones come running, including the two that you sent packing earlier, who initially looked really mad that there was no beer. But as they come barreling towards, like a bunch of these like immortalized, muscle-bound Goliaths come barging towards the area, your soldiers smoothly step to the side and just hold the tent flap open to allow them to pass, at least for the moment, before getting involved themselves. That said, before we go further, Puddles and Jeffrey, you guys have worked your way around to the back of the tent. And as you do so, you can hear the brawl starting inside of it. It's a reasonably sized tent, but even so, imagine like a Tom and Jerry cartoon when you get things wrapped up in a blanket and you just see like little bulges sticking out of the blanket in the midst of a fight. Imagine something kind of similar to that with the tent. Little bits would be pushed out or like a bar would be knocked down, and it would be incredibly loud and full of shrieking and shouting. As you guys have looped around to the back of the tent, Jeffrey, actions from you. You do still technically have viewpoint up if you want to be checking in with that while you go, but obviously it would be quite chaotic, and you're also walking at the same time. So how do you want to wrangle this, and what do you want to do when you reach the back of the tent?
I'm fortunate enough to catch a glimpse of anything that I would suspect would be carrying this vase.
And even with that double plus sensory, mid-brawl is not a great time to be looking through someone's eyes. It's very hard to see what's going on, especially given that from what you can perceive of the fight, though obviously when Chellerston is stronger and superly much better armored and wields this great mighty blade, Hathi is dancing circles around him and is much more nimble, not to mention clearly way more strategic in his combat. He is allowing Wen Chellerston to go barging through things and smack into tent poles and trip him over things and will throw stuff into his eyes and is just trying to stay one step ahead of him, given that seems like he has very little chance of getting a good shot on him, at least as of now.
I switched my viewpoint to Hathi and blank Wen Chellerston.
Now, switching a viewpoint is normally quite tough to do. This is normally the sort of thing you'd need to let the ability drop, wait the cooldown, then fire it off again. However, in Enclave, we have a system called Energy Work, which allows any magical effect in the game to work slightly differently if you go about it differently and use a different paired action or add to the paired action or elaborate on it. So so what you're saying of like switching a viewpoint mid-duration to another target is classic energy work. I've seen people do exactly this one before, but context and character theming matter a lot. So think of a cool, like high effort paired action. Like just talk me through what Jeffrey would magically do, or rather what action he would do to switch his magic from one person to the other. Again, try to tie in theming wherever you can, and try to make it like on the elaborate side, given that this is like a pretty big ask. It's a pretty substantial like effect to try to get out of it.
Twerk.
I was kind of going that direction. Not specifically, but yeah.
You got skill, right?
Yes. Yeah. So
Get it, boy.
I'm gonna make a big production of like my
Backing that ass
interpretation of a ballet, like pirouetting around and like rubbing my eyes and like trying to refocus my magical vision and like making a whole ordeal of, it being super difficult and only the greatest magicians alive can actually do this.
Yep. And to Jeffrey's mind, he looks incredible. To Puddles' eyes, he is a pudgy, middle-aged, balding fellow who is dancing ballet in the middle of a glacier, behind a tent with a brawl inside of it, and he looks absolutely freaking ridiculous. That said, Jeffrey, you would feel a sudden kind of like pain behind the temples, like at the start of a migraine, and your viewpoint would shift. Like lurching from one set of eyes to another. Though I will warn you, it won't last for tremendously long. You'll only get like a couple seconds out of it. However, you are seeing now through Hathi's eyes. And you can see, not only is it a lot easier, given that he's a much more clear-headed person and is keeping himself at a safe distance from Wenchellerston, but you do also see something else. Hathi is scanning the room, and you don't see any chest, you don't see any lock, you don't see any place where the urn or the jug could be being kept. What you do see, however, given that Wenchellerston is taller than Hathi, is there are a number of items dangling from the ceiling, which look initially quite innocent, until you notice that there are containers among them. Before we go further with that, however, you said you wanted to try to blank Wenchellerston from Hathi's vision. Given that Wenchellerston is most of what Hathi is paying attention to, that's very hard for viewpoint to do. How do you want to try to work around that?
Maybe just blur his vision temporarily.
Clean.
Or
awesome.
Yeah.
Really good compromise there. That's like exactly the sort of middle ground to shoot for. What would that look like on Jeffrey's side? Like, is this like gently running his own finger across his eye, like his closed eyes, or how would he initiate that?
He would do like the Professor X pose, like fingers to the temple, elbows splayed out, and like be grunting the whole time.
Yep.
As if he's like really straining.
Come on, Ian, grunt for us.
And Puddles would see Jeffrey go from pirouetting to pausing to like corking out of shit on the ice, seemingly. But before we go further, Puddles, actions you would like to take besides maybe giving a side eye to Jeffrey's bizarre performance.
I don't know. I want to find out what those dangling... Puddles wants to... Can he easily lift up the back of the tent and kind of peek underneath?
Normally, no, but given the fact that a few of the posts have been knocked down at this point, you actually have a loose flap that you can pop open and peek under.
Okay. I think Puddles would want to take a closer look at those hanging bottles.
Yep.
To kind of see, are they all the same? Is what makes them different? Are they, how high up are they?
Yep.
Yeah, and are they in danger with the battle? Like, could they be knocked down? Or are they way higher? So
excellent questions.
You would want to find out more information about that.
Yep. And what he would see, to answer the questions roughly in order, he sees about 5 containers that looks like they could hold drink. They are, if not identical, they are very close to each other in design and composition. They are hanging at kind of like a get on your tiptoes sort of height. But following the ropes, they seem to attach at like the main post of the tent at the very center, which, though there's a great brawl going on, it's a big tree trunk sort of post. It would be quite hard to knock it down. So they are attached on like a cantilever, or not a cantilever, but like a pulley that suspends them up high, but could let them down if needed. The other thing is that they could be in danger if, like, for example, Wenchellerston were to swing his sword very high. He could be in danger of whacking one. But again, that would only be a problem if you were like right at the center of the tent and did that, which is admittedly a possibility, but does not seem like something that's like imminent at the moment. Other details you would be looking for?
I would be looking for the boss man to see what his reaction is at this point.
Yeah.
Seeing if I can get a good view of him to see how, what his take of everything is. He paying attention to the canister, or bottles up above.
Yeah.
So that's what I would be looking for as well.
Excellent question. You have a plus to sensory, I believe?
I
Or is
do.
it skill? You have a skill as
Sensory,
well.
and I have one skill as well. Yeah.
Awesome, yeah. And because of that sensory, you would see that the boss man, who's big and again over muscled as this big pot belly, is kind of like awkwardly moving towards the mouth and yelling, "Get away with you all! Away! This is not for your hands, not for your eyes. Get out of here before I make you!" But at the same time, he keeps throwing his gaze over his shoulder nervously. And not only does he sometimes call back, "When challenged, stop! Stop! I order you to stop!" But also, you do see that his eyes, because his back is to you, so when he looks over his shoulder, you can see his face. His eyes flit up regularly to the hanging jugs.
I would like to use fork in the road and try and see if I was to run in and grab there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
5 jugs, huh?
You've grabbed more than 5 jugs before, bud.
Okay. So, yeah. I mean, they're pretty close together, or are they spread out pretty far
They're
apart?
spread out like a yard apart each. So there's some space. Like if you were to swing them, they wouldn't crash open or anything like that.
But he's behind them still. Or
Yep.
no, he's in front of them now.
Uh,
Like they're behind him hanging.
Exactly right. They are
He's towards
They
the
are
front of the
between
tent.
you and him, with him going towards the mouth of the tent.
Okay. Phew. I would want to use fork in the road to see what would happen if I ran in and grabbed them.
And fork in the road gives you a vision, right? But also part of the paired action is a guess. What would be Puddles' guess as to what would happen if he were to just try to bolt in for him?
Puddles believes that if he runs in, he can, because of the massive distraction, he can jump up, rip the 5 jugs, and get out the back of the tent very closely.
And because of that, the vision that he would get, it's brief and it's metaphorical, right? Rather than being exactly literal. But what he would see is a mouse scurrying over to a mousetrap, taking the prize from the mousetrap, and it snaps, and the mouse misses. It takes from 4 mousetraps, but then when it reaches the 5th, it gets caught.
Jeffrey, he would talk to Jeffrey about this.
Yep.
Jeffrey, I had the vision. I have a 80% chance that we might be able to get the right one. What do you think?
Because
Jeffrey?
did you see what I seen? I saw things hanging from the ceiling. Is that what you saw?
Oh. Yes, that's what I saw.
I think we should run in and grab it.
And I was giving myself a vision to see if I ran in, or one of us ran in and grabbed them. And what it showed me was a mouse, and the mouse getting 4, but 1 trap closed. So I take this to believe as if I could possibly get 4 out of the 5 jugs. That's a pretty good probability, but we still don't know.
3?
One more time, please.
What if I get 2 of the jugs and you get 3 of the jugs? Do you think we can do it?
Yes.
Grab those jugs, boys.
Let's do it.
Are you
So
guys?
can we see?
Hmm?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You first.
Wait, do we have like visual contact with Christopher now?
No,
Or are we
Christopher is
too
on the far side
Yeah.
of the tent and is through like a mass of people brawling at the mouth. We'll get to that in a moment. The people closest to you are Wenchellerston and Hathi. And given that you blurred Hathi's vision, he is purely on the defense. He is just like running the fuck away and trying to keep away from Wenchellerston. There is a very good chance that at least Hathi would see you if you made a break for it.
We can't do it cleanly, Puddles. They're gonna see us. Do you have an exit strategy? We just grab and grab and go.
Smash and grab.
Yeah.
Grab and smash.
Grab and smash.
Hey!
I mean,
We have to be
I'm
able
down.
to talk to Christopher, though. We cannot leave a man behind. I think we could get the jugs, we could smash them and tap our badges and get out of here, but shall we sacrifice
Or just
them?
yell about spilt milk. Spoiled milk.
I don't know. I say we grab them and run to the front, assuming Christopher's still there.
And while these two are debating, let's go check in with Christopher. Given that, as he yells out with his Garethings, two things happen. First of all, the incoming entourage start running in. Some of them pick up random weapons. Most of them just grab a rock, right? They don't even like pause to grab a proper sword or an axe or anything. And as they go, like some come barging up to the tent, you would also see that the warlord has come right up to the mouth of the tent. Though, thanks to your Garethings, he does not come all the way out. He kind of pauses, nervous to, maybe not nervous, but like stymied from coming all the way out. And instead, he just kind of bunches himself up as big, still throwing nervous looks over his shoulder, and says, "All of you, away! This is beyond you, and I will crack the marrow of anyone who steps by this line." And he takes one of his big sausage fingers and draws a line, cutting it into the frozen ground with his fingernail.
Hey, look at this guy, all puffed up like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
You hear one of your...
How many guys...
Oh, pardon. One of your soldiers goes like, yeah, jeez. But, pardon, carry on.
How many guys are out here anyway? There's a whole army against you? Seriously, you're busting our chops, man.
Do not speak to me that way. I am a demigod. I am Swaran the Unconquered. I have drank the milk of immortality, and I am undefeatable now. And any who pass this line, he traces it again, making it go about an inch deeper, will know that.
Okay. So you drank a magic milkshake and now you think you're a god?
I am a god.
I don't think it works that way, but anyway.
Could a not god do this? And he would seize up like a metal dagger from the ground next to him, put it in his teeth and bite it as though he were like biting off a carrot, chew it in his mouth and spit out the iron filings onto the floor.
Now that's pretty fucking cool.
Yes, only a demigod could do such thing. I contend you could never. And he would offer you the dagger, hilt first.
So it's the bit off dagger or it's a new dagger?
It's the bit off dagger.
Yeah, I guess I'll take it.
It has like, again, a bit like carrot chunk taken off the end. And he looks very pleased with And the soldiers who initially had been coming in looking eager are admittedly a little bit perturbed by this. They're like, oh, geez. And your soldiers are like, you would even hear one whisper to you.
Could I make...
Oh, yeah?
With 2 arms, could I make a sword out of candy? But it looks like a real sword?
That's a very funky 2 arms. Again, with energy work, yes.
Excellent. So, I get this idea to create a real looking piece, or real looking sword made out of rock candy.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I say, "Behold, I shall do you one better," and I reach around my back and go, and I pull out the candy sword, and it gleams
like crystal. Yeah.
And I say, "Hey, everybody, watch this!" And then I swallow it.
And as you take a second bite, you can see that Swaran gets beet red, and with fury in his voice, he says, "You dare disrespect me!" And he pulls back his fist to deliver a massive punch towards Christopher.
Oh no.
What would he like to try to do?
I want to dodge between his legs like a punk.
Remind me, do you have a plus to vigor?
Let's see about my vigor. My vigor is... Vigor, I got 1+, yeah.
That's what I remembered. And because of that, lurching between his legs, you would get through just in time as his massive pile-driving fist slams into one of your soldiers, knocking him clean back out the mouth of the tent and into the group of like retinue members. Your other soldiers would scream in fury and say, "You big fuck, get that shit out of here, you can't do," and they go like diving in towards him, but at the same time they don't dare go all the way in because this guy's a freaking monster, right? And so they would kind of dodge in, several would stab out and then go like trying to dance back, but at the same time the entourage would pile in. "The sword chewer speaks true," as they come like rocketing in through the door, but only single file, and Swaran seems more than capable of taking them on single file. He would grab the first man, bash his head in with like a big forward headbutt, and then just like break his arm over his knee. It's brutal combat. It looks like silverback gorillas tearing each other apart. But as Christopher dives between his legs and is presumably coming up on the other side, even though he's seeing this take place, he also can do plenty himself. What does he want to do from here?
I'm gonna yell, "Get him, boys!" and then jump up and pull my own sword.
Yep.
Stab him in the back with it if I could do all that in one flourish.
Oh, absolutely. And as you go for Swaran's back, you would realize something. Though his skin is tough, no doubt about that, you do draw blood. And even though
my sword's magical too.
Yeah, exactly. And even though you only get like maybe an inch into his back, even with like a full thrust towards it, it does seem to make him bleed. It does seem to wound him. And so after this first stab, immediate follow-ups from Christopher.
"If it bleeds, we can kill him!" Ah!
And are you going to be like hewing at his back, or are you doing something? Or are you just?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna start chopping away.
And as you go hacking in, like putting a slice in here and like a cut in there, you would see that Swaran would spin around towards you, holding one of his like broken-limbed retinue and using him as a giant club, swinging at you like a baseball swing. What would you do?
Definitely not trying to block that. I'm just going to drop to the ground.
Just hitting the deck.
Just hit the deck and roll out of it as best I can.
And as you hit the deck, your sword is torn out of your hands. You were halfway through a strike when he spun, and as such, even though your body can go down, that sword is sent spinning out of the tent, ripping through the cloth in the process. But you do manage to dodge. After like crashing down low to the ground, immediate follow-ups from Christopher.
And I still got the candy sword, right?
You do?
I'll take a bite of that and end my round here. That's a lot of action.
And jumping back over to Puddles and Jeffrey, midway through their conversation of whether or not they were going to ditch Christopher, they would see him plunge into the room between the legs of the warlord, finally getting into sight. And they would see him start to hew at the warlord's back as the brawl takes place.
Lift up the back of the tent flap and like nod in to Puddles.
I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
I said I'm gonna lift up the tent and like give you a head nod and be like, time to get in there.
You're going first, dude.
But Toron is now facing us, correct?
The warlord Swaran was facing for a moment when he did that big spin around with the body, but now he is back to facing his disloyal men who are at the mouth of the tent. So his attention has been pulled away from where you guys are for the moment.
Jeffrey, let's go now, I would say, not in a loud voice.
Yep. And as Puddles goes rushing in to the tent, is he just bolting for that center post?
Yes, he is. He's bolting right for the center post to try and grab as many of those
Yep.
bottles as he can.
As he does so, a flash of silver would pass by his nose, missing it by a hair, coming from his left, so not where the brawl takes place, and embeds itself deep in another tent, like a tent post, just past his head. The dagger holds still and like in place from where it embeds itself. Immediate follow-ups, you are not immediately aware of where the dagger came from.
I'm just running for those bottles. Not even, I just keep going.
Yep. And as you go bolting towards that center post, Jeffrey, follow-ups. Are you rushing in after Puddles?
Yeah, and I'm taking out a couple of my smoke bombs and starting to toss them towards the front of the tent.
Yep.
Like between the commotion and the bottles is where I'm aiming, at least.
Absolutely. And
Bring
as
the
you
chaos, dude.
Yeah. And as you throw out smoke bombs and they go hissing off, Jeffrey would see a second silver blur whip through the air towards Puddles and take him clean through the left shoulder. Puddles is sent reeling to the side and would stagger against like one of the damaged tent poles, which would collapse in slightly and bring him down to the ground with a section of tent over him. Nothing that would crush him, but plenty that would obstruct him and be a pain in the ass. Not to mention blocking his ability to immediately see. Jeffrey, follow-ups from you.
The dagger came from, I'm assuming I know, but what's the positioning like?
And following the line of fire, you can see that it came from Hathi, who, while he is dodging away from Wenchellerston, did have enough presence of mind to be looking behind him and keeping an eye on the jugs. The daggers that line his person, he's now missing a couple, and he has another one in his hand. His eyes are clearly trying to figure out where you are as well, given that presumably he saw where the smoke bombs were thrown from. Follow-ups from Jeffrey. You see Hathi before he sees you.
Man. Let's see. Can I quickly use Phantasm to create an illusionary snake and throw it onto Hathi's, like, head?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, just one, like, are you conjuring the Phantasm, like, right above him to have it drop onto him?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yep, easily done. And as you do so, you see that Hathi immediately recoils. It's instinctive for people to recoil from a snake that comes out of nowhere. In this moment, what would Jeffrey like to do?
Let's try to free Puddles.
Yep. And hurrying over to where Puddles is caught up in the tent. Puddles, the knife that slams into your shoulder sends just like an icy lance through your body. Your nervous system freezes up, and then adrenaline starts kicking in. You find that your face is completely obstructed and your arm is tangled in a section of tent fabric. What do you want to try to do? Your left arm is completely immobile, with the dagger still sticking out of it.
I want to pull something sharp from my satchel.
Sure.
And try and free myself from the post.
Based in like Puddles' background and like where he's sort of been, what sort of thing would this be? Is this like a sharp letter opener, box cutter, actual knife? What?
Be a badass and pull the dagger out and use that.
Oh, well, wait. Isn't the dagger holding me to the post?
It is not. The first dagger embedded in the post, the second one just embedded itself in your arm. So you could pull it out.
Yeah. Puddles is going to pull out the first dagger and use that to cut himself free.
It's the most awful lurching sensation in the pit of his stomach. How will Puddles not throw up from pain?
He will pull out his fiddle and play a song.
And even with himself partially tied up, plunking a couple notes out on it keeps his stomach where it is for now, and he can start to cut himself free. And Jeffrey soon blooms into his view. Jeffrey, Puddles' face is just completely clammy, right? He's covered in a cold sweat, and his breath is coming fast, but he does seem to have his wits about him and does have the dagger now in his hand. You would notice that the tip is broken off.
To get done and get out of here.
Just the tip. Just the tip.
Help him to his feet. Let's see. Can my cape lift both of us or just one person?
Typically one person, but again, energy work. Think about how you can add a paired action into it that would make it make sense to affect both of you.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad idea.
I see the
Puddles,
lead in,
what should we do?
and Puddles, Jeffrey's panicked question comes to you as though he's speaking down a long hallway. Your ears are full of buzzing, and even though you can see, there's this kind of like rigidness throughout your entire body as it copes with the shock of the wound. What would be Puddles' response? Oh, you're muted.
Ow! Puddles is... Ouchie. He has his wherewithal to still be searching for those bottles. Did the whole tent collapse? Like, can we not see that at all? I know that my vision is kind of...
Your section of the tent did collapse, but you've cut yourself free, and Jeffrey has helped you free. The center post, where the milk bottles are hanging from, is still holding. It's still there. It's still in sight.
Puddles gets the wherewithal and the strength. Should have got might. He takes... I don't know.
Do you need a moment? I can give you a moment.
Yeah, give me a moment.
You got it. Jeffrey, do you have any immediate follow-ups, or are you waiting on Puddles first?
Jump back to Christopher if you could.
Sure.
Is that cool?
I got it.
All right.
And Christopher, jumping back over to you. With sword, candy sword in hand, and another bite taken out of it, you can see that Swaran, the warlord, has now killed 2 of his retinue. He does not seem to have killed any of your soldiers. Even the one he punched earlier has gotten limpingly back to his feet outside of the tent. But that's because your soldiers are playing much smarter, keeping their distance, jabbing in once in a while, and you can see from the blood and the clutching that one of Swaran's eyes has been gouged out by one of your soldiers' keen blades. Follow-ups from Christopher. Swaran's back is to him.
Wow, I think we got this. Hey, everybody, pile on that guy! And as they're taking care of him, he seems like he's well taken care of. So Hothy is dealing with some sort of mental breakdown or something.
Are you gonna like look over towards him and see what's going on?
Yeah, of course, because like He's the next thing I got to
Yeah.
deal with.
You can see that this is the moment where the snake, the illusory snake, is conjured over Hathi. You see him flinch and try
Can
to.
I see that?
Yes, you can see that.
Okay, cool. So I can see that. All right.
Yep.
All right, cool. So while he's being attacked by the illusionary snake, I'm going to step in, minding Wen Chellerston's barrage. I'm going to kind of join Wen Chellerston in fighting him.
And in that case, as you move towards Hathi, you see that he takes a swipe with his rapier towards the illusory snake. And of course, it's an illusion. Nothing happens. And he bats at it for a moment, realizes it's not real, and wheels around just in time to barely dodge out of the way of Wen Chellerston's enormous pile driver, which smashes like a low log table he was next to. Hathi is now kind of between you and Wen Chellerston. Wen Chellerston is rounding on him on his left, you are on his right. And as Hathi looks towards you, looks towards Wen Chellerston, he looks over his shoulder and clocks the presence of Jeffrey and Puddles. This would also be Christopher's first realization that Jeffrey and Puddles are in the tent, and you can see that Puddles is hurt.
What's up, guys?
He would see that Hathi is pulling out another dagger from his vest and is looking to throw it over his shoulder to hit Jeffrey in the back.
All right. I'm going to try and, I guess... I would like to knock that out of his hand, if at all possible.
If you want to try to make a lunge for it, you could, but you're still several strides away, and all it would take is a quick flick of his
that's right.
hand.
I don't even have a sword anymore.
Yeah, you have the candy sword, but that doesn't really have much reach on it.
Sword. Indeed. Can I throw the candy sword straight into his mouth?
His mouth isn't open. You could whack him in the side of the face, though.
Aw, jeez. All right, yeah. I'll go ahead and throw the candy sword straight at his face to kind of get him off balance.
Yeah. Do you have a skill stat? I believe you do.
Skill? I don't know. Maybe I do. Skill? Yeah, I got 1.
That's huge, actually. And because of that, the thrown, like, partially eaten candy sword would crack into the side of Hathi's head. He does have a helmet on, but it doesn't cover his whole face. And not only does the candy sword shatter into, like, little crystal, like sugar crystals, but also it would send him reeling and make it so that he doesn't pull off the throw. More notably than that, he can't even look at you because he has to look to dodge Wen Chellerston again, who comes barraging in once, thundering through and smashing everything in his wake. Wen Chellerston ends up right next to you. And he says, after a moment, "Who are you? Where's Hathi? Are you Hathi?"
I'm not Hathi. Hathi's that guy, and I just attacked him, and my attack tasted good.
He says, "Yeah, good taste." And as he whips around, you can see that there's like a dagger like sticking out of the back of his head, kind of just wobbling there, like one of those like fake arrow hats. As he's like turning, though, you can see that Hathi is pulling up towards the back of the room. He's trying to get another dagger out, but he also has to keep his rapier up and against Wen Chellerston. And it's at this point that Wen Chellerston looks up. And Christopher's eyes would follow him up. And Christopher would see the 5 ceramic bottles that hang from ropes from the top of the tent. And he sees Wen Chellerston looking at them too, with a gleam of utter desire in his eyes.
Hey, bud, is that the milk that we're looking for?
Yeah. And he goes to reach up to grab one.
Oh, jeez.
As he is doing so, there's a little zzz through the air and another dagger hits him, this time clean through the palm, and he starts bleeding.
Ow.
He clutches it, pulls it out of his hand, and hurls it back towards Hathi, who dodges it pretty effortlessly, and then goes rushing after Hathi again.
That milkman really does his job. Nobody's getting their hands on it.
At this point, Puddles, what do you got for me?
Puddles gathers his strength to stand up, or well, he stood up. He cut himself free of the post, and he has the dagger in his hand. He decides to make a run for the bottles to try and cut them down and grab as many as he can.
Or just smash them on the way down.
And as Puddles goes rushing heroically towards the center post, Jeffrey, you get no response to your question, but by Puddles' actions, it's immediately obvious what he is doing. What will Jeffrey do?
Straight for the jugs and either going to try to cut them down, release the ropes, or if I can't figure out a way to do that easily, I'll levitate up and start trying to just smash them. And
as Puddles rushes up, Puddles is obviously a little beside himself with the pain of his wound, right? It's doing all he can only focus on this. But Jeffrey can see Christopher standing pretty much right next to that main center post. Anything Jeffrey would want to say to Christopher as you are rushing towards him, because he is just underneath your destination.
Push the jugs.
And responses from Christopher to this, if at all, as your two companions go rushing towards you at the center post.
I've got armor on, right?
Yeah.
And they said get the jugs.
Yeah.
Can I launch myself straight up into it and smash the jugs with my armor?
You'd be able to probably get one. Again, they're at about hand height, and you do have a plus to vigor. So if you want to like jump up and try to like headbutt one or punch at one, you probably could.
Oh hell yeah, I'll headbutt one and break it.
Yep. And as Christopher slams the first one, he is deluged with like, okay, have you had kefir before?
What is kefir?
Kefir is like somewhere between milk and yogurt. It's very sour. Very
Yes, I have.
like sour, chunky milk, but it's quite good actually. Imagine
is that a Connecticut thing?
I believe it's Middle Eastern, but we certainly have it here, and it's delicious. And as you crack it, imagine just being deluged with like buttermilk, for want of a better term, right? It's ripe.
I look like a giant Irish coffee, dude.
And as Christopher takes down one, Puddles reaches the post, and you said you wanted to begin hacking at the ropes?
Yeah, I'm going to try and get at least two of them. And Jeffrey we had talked about that he's trying to get 3 of them, right?
Yep. And as you are hewing away, you feel one rope kind of zip away, and then you hear the crash of the jar hit the ground. And then as you're going at the second, Jeffrey, what would you like to do? You can see that 2 are down. Puddles is working on a third. You have no idea what's going on with Hathi or Winchellerston at the moment, but if you're just focused on the ropes and the jars, what would you like to do?
You said it's connected with like a pulley system, right?
Yep.
Is that obvious to me? Like where that is located, like the anchor rope?
Given that you have a double plus to sensory, right?
Yes.
Yes, it is to you. But given all the chaos of the tent and the things collapsed and stuff, none of the others would have picked it out. But you do. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm going to go over there and try to just start releasing all of the ropes as quick as possible.
And you also have a plus to skill?
Yeah, a
Huge.
single plus.
Yep. And with quick hands, you untie another 2 knots. And as Puddles cuts free the third of the jars, Jeffrey would bring down 4 and 5. As he is doing so, however, Christopher, you've just obviously headbutted that one. You're drenched. But you can also see that Hathi has managed to lose Winchellerston again, leaving him bunched up in a bunch of tent flaps. Hathi is rushing across the room towards you guys. He has a dagger in each hand, and he is readying to throw. What would you like to do?
Considering that every drop of this spilt milk tells a story of hubris and downfall, I'll try and take him on and make sure that he can't get to my compatriots who are doing the job.
So are you like rushing out to meet him? Are you getting in his way? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'll rush out to meet him and I'll use my armor to deflect as best I can.
He throws his first. It's clearly not meant for you. Probably he was aiming for Puddles, but you get in the way and it glances off of your armor. And as you do so, Hathi skids to a halt. He says, "What are you doing? What are you doing? You can't drink it."
We're trying to clean up your milk mess. Don't cry over spilt milk there, Hoppy.
He tosses the knife in his hand, and he says, I tell you now, funny man, you drink that, you will regret it for the rest of your miserable existence.
Nobody's drinking it. We're just breaking it.
And he says, you are.
Yeah, that's our job. That's what we're here to do. Haven't you noticed?
And he says, thank goodness. Have at it. And he turns and flees out through the entrance in the tent that Puddles and Jeffrey had made.
Oh, okay.
And this only leaves one last, as Jeffrey releases the final of the jugs, when Chellerston turns to face the center. And as the last jar crashes to the ground, Christopher would be face to face with when Chellerston, as his face falls, he says, wait, but I need that. I need to drink that.
Phil, you should have spoke up sooner there, bud.
But I did.
Are we done here?
I did. I told you. It's not fair.
Hey, man, you can still lick it up off the ground, can't you?
And he immediately goes to do so, scrabbling on his hands and knees. But as he does so, with Puddles now slumping against the center tent pole, blood pouring out of his arm, and Jeffrey now able to look up from untying the last of the knots, the three of you would feel your Enclave badges ping. Final actions. We will begin with Puddles.
So all the bottles are broken, correct?
Yep.
I would throw my waypoint to make sure that everybody, are we all on the same page? Tap our badges and
Yep, you guys are together.
Okay. I'd say, let's get out of here. And I'd tap my badge to get out, to
And
teleport.
Jeffrey, final actions from you.
Without me, and I'll tap my badge.
And lastly, Christopher, watching when Chellerston trying desperately to lick at the drops of milk that are quickly hurrying between the frozen earth. What would you like to do? Final action.
I'll point to the puddle of blood where Puddles was, and I'll be like, hey, don't lick that. That's why we call him Puddles.
And on that note, we will end the mission. Nicely done, gentlemen.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That is Enclave in a nutshell. To give a quick summary before we wrap up, give you a chance to ask questions too. First of all, the focus words. I got spilled milk, spoiled milk, and you seem to be at your wit's end, but your wit's pretty short. So naturally...
That's why everybody was dumb.
Yes! Everyone's dumb, except for Hathi, who is trying his best to make no one else drink the fucking cursed milk. And so as soon as you're like, oh, we're breaking, he's like, oh, thank God. And he just dips, right? So Hathi was a secret ally who was going to be an enemy right up until the point it was obvious you were trying to break the milk.
What a twist.
That's why I was trying to play with the you seem to be at your wit's end. That was him, but your wit's pretty slow. Everyone else. And then spilled milk and spoiled milk. It's fucking obvious. Though I will also say that there was like kind of a sub-theme there as well of the milk conveying curses, but also you may notice there were 5 jugs. 4 of them were decoys that would be poison. And Hathi set that up so if anyone tried to sneak in and get one, they would have a 1 in 5 chance of getting it right.
Awesome.
Sneaky.
Yep.
Sneaky
Yep.
Hoppy.
And yeah, it was fun having the one smart character on the mission and then just everyone else being brain dead. That was something I thought would be fun for you guys to engage with. And he did end up doing more damage than everyone else on the mission combined. That said, to briefly give you guys your due, Puddles, first of all, awesome familiar face, great fork in the road. The thing with that you were like talking through with like getting just like making a beeline over is something we call a defiance. It's based on your will stat, but you can of course do it with baseline will. You did a great defiance there. And then on top of that, I thought that your team coordination was quite solid as well. Made good use of your stats. Very cool heroic moment, and for such like a kind of whimsical, goofy character, he ended up being quite the hero. It was fun. quite fun. I liked him a lot. Then
I'll follow you anywhere, bud.
then Jeffrey, classic good uses of all the illusionists kit, and the smoke bombs, I would argue, were mission saving. Because imagine if all the stuff you did at the end there, you also had to contend with like half of his entourage at the same time. But because of the smoke bombs, they were going to be distracted for those critical final 10 seconds. Excellent play there in particular, but just great stuff with your illusionist core stuff as well, especially that viewpoint. And lastly, Christopher, that is the most unusual Thane I've ever seen in my life. Period. Weird Thane. And yet he worked. I loved your 2 arms. The one that you did on Wenchellerston was fantastic, and it made Wenchellerston such a problem for Hathi. And imagine if Hathi was like completely on guard the entire time. He just peppered you with knives the second you try to get towards it. But Wenchellerston was a huge distraction, and that was great. Your kind of interactions with the litter at the beginning of the mission was one of those things that I was like, oh, that's sick. He's like leaning into that. And it's the sort of thing that you could maybe have pursued further for some energy work setup or something. But it ended up being just kind of a fun character moment. I love the intelligence on the character, by the way. Like, he's such a goober, but at the same time, he actually has some good ideas, and I think it's a cool dynamic. The Banner play was smart. The Garethings play was very smart. Yep.
The whole character comes from a series. Have you ever seen the Shoe Body Bop thing?
My wife loves that so much.
So that guy did a whole series called Dudes of Hazmat, and Chris Groves comes straight from that. He doesn't have any superpowers, but he is intelligent. But he's also a goofball, and like I just channeled that.
My wife loves that so much and sings the song, you know the one. She sings that thing constantly, and so I bet you anything she would know the character. That's awesome. I had no idea. Do you guys have questions for me about calls that I made, the plot of the mission, or how Enclave plays in general? I can lift the curtain if you were interested.
No, I thought you did a great job. I thought it flowed pretty well. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic, and I was visualizing the whole thing. It was cool.
Yeah.
My question to you is, you just completely improv this whole setup, or this is kind of like a mission that you have like a scaffold for, and then you just pop it in the pieces, or this was just like off the top of your head?
This is the extent of my notes for the entire session that I made after you gave me the focus words. This was entirely improvised. And
that's wild, Buck.
One of the cool things about Enclave too is that as you get more used to the system, you can do like that I'm not going to say easily, right? It takes a little while to get there, but I've seen people for whom Enclave was their first TTRPG ever who can generate a mission spontaneously. And it's something that the system lends itself well to. It's actually worse to overplan in Enclave. Because I came up with maybe, I'd say, 10% of the mission. That's my role, like 10% planning, 90% improv. So I come up with the 10%, I come up with the big beats of like, the Sacred Cow, and there's the Warlord who's wildly hubristic but is cursed to be a moron now, and then he has the one guy in his group who kind of has his senses about him, but everyone else is a bozo. But they're dangerous. That's all I needed. I riffed the rest. And so a lot of the specific details, the layout, the beats, those were things you come up with on the fly. And it allows Enclave to, again, be generated very fast. You saw we went from character creation to mission in like 15 minutes. But also, I find that improv kind of keeps you honest, and it helps you come up with some like cool moments that it would have been extremely hard to plan.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other questions for me, again, about calls I made, the plot of the mission, or the way Enclave plays in general?
So, like the one call that I was kind of put it back by was like I said to the crew, yeah, I'm sticking with them, but you kept saying you're with your group. You're with your group. And so like I was just like kind of wondering, like, did I have to be with them whenever I called them? Was like that part of the thing?
I see. When you were saying I stick with my crew versus my group, I wasn't sure whether it was the bannermen
Gotcha. Okay,
or your
gotcha.
teammates.
So you didn't know which one.
Yeah, I caught that.
Word. Okay, gotcha.
So-
all right, so that's what
So
the
pardon,
mismatch
I was
All right, word.
assuming you were with your bannermen the entire time.
All right, cool.
And that you had gone
Cool,
with your
cool,
bannermen.
cool. All right,
and
gotcha,
that's the sort of
gotcha.
thing
So that
where
was-
if
that
you
was the
ever
problem.
see like a miscommunication like that, you can be like, oh, real quick, I meant these guys, or something like that. So pardon me if that felt like I was pushing you in that direction.
No, not at
Completely
all.
unintentional.
Because yet again, like I don't know the rules and I don't know how things work, and yet again, that's my miscommunication. I should have said I'm with
No problem,
my
yeah.
teammates or whatever.
And I know that it's like, again, an unusual way of playing, but in Enclave, as the player, you do have quite a lot of agency for that sort of thing, like maybe more than you'd expect in a lot of TTRPGs.
Theater of the mind, you need it.
Yeah, and frankly, I think even despite that, like you flowed with it beautifully to the point where I did not realize you were confused about it, which is my bad as well for not picking up on it.
You got to be a good player, you know.
Any other questions? Awesome.
Questions, but
I think
yeah,
we're
I
pretty
just
good,
want to
yeah.
kind of second what Matt had said. That was a lot of fun. You did a great job, man. I
Oh, yeah.
appreciate you inviting us over to hang out and check out the system. It was a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of which, before we wrap up, do you have any final plugs for your own work? I want to give you guys a chance to do your outros to whatever degree you want, and also to speak a little bit about Dim City before we wrap up.
I guess I'll go ahead and take this. So we are over halfway through our campaign now. We've got, I think, about $4,000 before we hit our first stretch goal.
Mhm.
And so we're looking to push to that first stretch goal and get that before the end of it. Anybody who backs us and they have somebody else that they've kind of finagled into backing us as well, they're going to get, in addition to at the stretch goal, a additional specialty that everybody's voting on. They're going to get a chance to vote with those people that have gotten another backer to join us to vote on the remaining which one they want from the remaining two specialties, and only they get that. So you get an additional specialty, which is like a character class, and then you get a particular one that's only for your backers that you brought on and you.
That's pretty sick. That's awesome to hear, man. Any other notes from you guys on the Dim City team about what you're doing? And I mean, I'll make sure to put the link around. That's for damn sure. Not only when I post this,
Thank
but
you so
also in my final week announcement, because you guys and I are pretty synced up. I'm gonna put in my final week announcement to make sure that people are hopefully pushed to you for your last big shove.
We appreciate
we
you.
appreciate that. Yeah, we're just, much like Enclave, we're just trying to build something out of passion that breeds creativity. And creativity is exponential when there's more people putting in to that creativity, which Dim City and Enclave both breed, I think. So we would love any support that anyone can give us. We're just trying to do this for a living, much like yourself, Robbie. And this was a blast. Yeah, I had a great time, and I see why people enjoy the game. It was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you so much. Well, my friends, it has been an absolute pleasure having you here. Thank you for bearing with me through the technical stuff towards the beginning. A pain in the butt, but hey, we made it work. And I really hope we get to have Scott involved at some point in the future. It would be really great to play with him. But obviously, you guys got a lot going on. So I'll keep it in the bank to get him involved in one in the future. And so until next time, Matt, Todd, Ian, it has been a pleasure, and I hope your campaign does fantastically. I really look forward to seeing where you guys go, and I am proud to have backed it.
Thank you.
Likewise, Robbie. Thank you.
Same.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yep.
Of course. Ciao, friends.